Welcome, everybody, to episode 19 of the Hot Rod Blues podcast. I am Sean Brereton with Auto Enthusiast Network.
I'm Javier Agustin with Bomber Steel Customs.
Mike Abbott, Steel Rose Metal Co.
And I'm Sean Young from Kingfish Metalworks. And tonight, our guest is Miss Tiffany Trouble, the Pinstripe, Miss Pinstripe of Memphis. So happy to have you. Thanks for coming,
Thank you for
Tiffany.
having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been on our short list for a while. We finally got it together. You stay pretty busy these days.
I do. I was kind of avoiding it.
Oh, why? Why? This is going to be awesome.
No, I'm excited.
See, now that we're recording, nothing has changed. We're just the same idiots that we were 30 seconds ago.
I will say,
I appreciate that.
I will say this is the first female.
First female.
Yeah.
Yes.
First female, I guess.
Feature.
Feature.
Yeah, that's right.
Female
You can pop a tap to that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
I'm gonna drink my coffee to that.
There you go.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Well, give us a little background. Like,
Where are you from?
we know you're a pinstriper. Yeah. Where you from? What you do? Like, how'd you get started?
Okay.
All that kind of stuff.
All right. Originally from San Diego, California. Moved here about 12 years ago.
California, Mike. She's from California.
Oh, California.
And that was
What
episode
is
19 of the Hot Rod Blues. Thank you very much.
Cut.
Cut. Done. Leave. What's beef with California?
Oh, I hate California.
Why?
With a passion.
Where? Okay. What portions are we talking about?
It's just the people.
We're,
though, right?
we're gonna go into some way off. Let's keep it.
Okay, all
All right. You're from
Okay.
California. I won't hold that against you. All right.
There's a lot of
How did you
there's
get
a lot
into-
of Mexicans in California.
Yeah.
That's not why I don't like California.
Well, I'm glad we
I
got
got
that out.
I got a lot of Mexicans
It's all
in
the
my
other
family.
people in California that
I think
make
it's
California
all
bad.
the
It's actually the Caucasians in California.
It
I
is
don't
exactly.
like.
I
And
think
it's all the people not actually from California that have destroyed California.
Yeah.
Well, also the thing that destroys California is when people vacate California, they go and try and assimilate other places into
Absolutely.
California, and that's where everyone's like, "Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Go back and do that crap over there."
My mom lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, and just in the past 5 years, property value has skyrocketed because people are moving from California
To Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, and they're destroying the
Yeah.
environment.
Well,
Like,
and-
it's
You want to
insane.
talk about a big culture difference, too.
Well, and,
Oh,
and-
it's huge.
And
Yeah.
politics and policy.
Right.
They
Yeah.
come in and they have their ideas about, well, why isn't it this way?
Right.
You left that way. Don't come over here and do that.
That's exact, and they're doing it in Austin and Colorado.
They're doing it everywhere.
They're going to Wyoming,
Oregon,
and it's crazy.
like Bend. There's
Nashville.
Don't California my
Nashville.
anything.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their own. They think they're original. Like don't California my Texas. You know?
See, and I'm waiting for everyone that's moved to California to move out so I can move back.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal.
Do you have $1 million for a 600 square
Well,
foot?
she's hoping that
Well,
she's hoping that property values crash.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody
They're gonna.
moves out, they crash.
yep.
Right.
They're gonna.
I actually
Goals.
love Northern California, though.
Okay.
Northern California.
I've
is
never hung out in
beautiful.
Northern California.
It's
San
beautiful.
Jose is really cool. I like
Yeah.
San Jose and
Bakers-
Oakland. and
Bakersfield.
That's southern.
Napa Valley.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not a
I'm from San
Bakersfield
Diego
person.
too, by the way.
I lived in San Diego.
Hold on,
for a
you're
year.
from San Diego?
Not born there.
You've been holding this out the whole time?
You
I
kept
thought
saying
we
how
were
much you
friends.
hated California.
You didn't want that to ruin the friendship.
So here it is, okay? I was born in East LA.
The truth comes out.
So say I was
No,
happy he knew where he was born.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Wow. He just broke out like some horribly.
Dang.
What did
Come
I
on.
miss?
Don't worry about it. All right,
was
so
big.
let's go back to
No. We'll get Big Bend Regional Hospital in Alpine, Texas is where I was born. That's what the paper
Oh,
says.
see?
Well, you
That's
said-
where it
You
happened.
said San Diego.
So
No,
you're
no,
from
my-
Texas. See, I love
I'm
Texas.
from Texas, but my father's side of the family is from California. So we vacationed and experienced that.
God.
Well,
Before it went to crap, honestly, the 80s was probably the best California that I can remember.
well, since we're going into this, technically, my mother's actually from California.
Let's get out of this. Let's we need
Yeah,
to
let's
move,
get out of
let's
this.
Move
Tiffany,
on.
I know why Sean doesn't want to get into talking about moms. I think I know why.
No. I can take it. I can take it with the best of them.
Okay.
Yes, he can.
All right. So
Tiffany.
you were born in
Let's
California.
Let's come to Memphis. All right. Like 13 years ago, I had never been here before. I thought that Memphis would have a huge car culture, huge rock and roll scene. Packed up my dogs in a van, moved here, didn't know anybody, had nothing, no job, no nothing. got here, no culture.
Yeah.
No culture whatsoever.
Yeah. The rest of the world thinks it's 1950s. here,
Yes,
and
it's not. It's not at all. Like
Well, I
the
would
only
say-
car shows were, in Deep Hills, Mississippi, and
Well, I think
not
it's on an
my scene.
upswing, though. Case in point,
Oh,
while we're all
absolutely.
sitting right here
For
today,
sure.
10 years ago, there was a latent period of just
Yeah.
dead. Even the infrastructure of Memphis. Like 10 years ago, you're looking at the square. If anyone knows Memphis or has been here or comes to visit, the Midtown Square area was abandoned.
Yeah,
South,
that-
South Main, abandoned.
yeah, that
Like,
karaoke place in Overton was the only place that was still there.
Yeah.
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 What
What
Yeah.
was that?
It was,
Sa-
like 12 different comedy clubs. And
Yeah.
There was,
Yeah.
there was an
Yeah.
upstairs. It was Yosemite Sam's.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
It's
Yeah.
over here.
Oh,
Yosemite
okay.
Sam's. I'm a
Like
yo-
I said that.
I'm a yoker, bro.
Yep.
But yeah, I actually got to go there I didn't know there was the very last night they were going to do it. They shut doors
Oh yeah, that night. Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
And I was there that day.
That's crazy.
So, what got you into
big.
pinstriping?
Well, like,
yeah, let's talk about cars.
well, like what?
So I drove a car to Yosemite Sam's that night.
Was it a cool car though?
No.
Okay.
It was a truck.
No, I would say in like the last 5 years, y'all especially have helped build it up again
Thanks.
like crazy.
That's the plan.
But
Yeah.
you're like,
Lovely.
we're trying.
So, so you get here 10 years ago, nothing, 2 dogs, a van,
Yeah.
hashtag van
So
life.
you-
Lived in my van for 6
Yeah.
months.
You just came here just based on what you thought Memphis would be.
Well, I needed away from where I was,
Yeah.
and it sounded like a really good idea.
Yeah.
And it ended up working out, but it was a rough first couple years. But
Yeah.
I paid some lady in Millington like $400 a month to let my dogs live in her backyard. It was weird.
Yeah.
Everything was
Really?
weird.
Where at in
but
Millington? I grew up there.
I have no idea. I could not tell you.
Probably couldn't even get you back there again.
No, not if I wanted to, which I don't.
That's funny.
So, did you pinstripe in California?
No, I started pinstriping about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was as a bartender, all I did was drink, hang out in bars, party a lot, and I just woke up one day and realized I needed a change. And I had been into pinstriping since I was like 17, 18, working in tattoo shops. My boss used to pinstripe in the basement, and I would go down and watch him, but I never thought I would be any good at it. And I drunkenly ordered like $300 worth of pinstriping
Yeah.
stuff, and
It was like an Amazon thing.
it was. I was crazy.
That's
Like I got
awesome.
this box. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And it was like a bunch of one shot and a couple brushes. And
Yeah.
I quit drinking for a year after that, just
Yeah.
to teach myself how
Wow.
to pull a line.
You
So,
still have the
Wow.
first thing you did? Mm-hmm. Dig that.
yeah, I have like all the old. Like I would go to the dollar store and just get pictures, like the glass
Yeah.
picture frames, and just practice on those. And
Yeah.
they're still hanging up in my house, even though they're absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Hey, but that's great to remind yourself where you came from. You know,
Right.
I mean,
I try to keep try to look back at it every now and then and be like, okay, well, I'm not that awful anymore.
Right.
I'm still kind of not great, but I'm not that bad. So
I would say you have a style that I've never seen before, especially what you've been doing the last couple of years.
it was really important for me to try to find my own style.
Yeah.
You see it, especially with Instagram and Facebook now. It's everybody thinks they can do it. It's one of those art forms that if you're into cars, you think you can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I see it all the time, and nobody wants to pay the dues of pulling 1,000 lines and then pulling 1,000 C lines and 1,000 S lines. Like they just
Yeah.
automatically start making these designs, and it looks like shit. And
Yeah.
no one tells them that it looks like shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And
right? Because it's so hard to like tell somebody like they just spent all this time on it and be like, yeah, dude, that's horrible.
Yeah, but they go the other way and they're like, "That's badass."
They
bro."
do. That's
and
exactly.
And then that guy goes, "That's right.
I'm really good.
Got this."
Well, but you see the same thing in the tattoo industry, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know,
It happens in photography too. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And in
you can't tell
cars,
somebody
So-
their photo
so-
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the whole thing. As an artist, everyone sitting at this table, art is subjective. So that's the whole respect level of
True.
that's crap. But like you could take a 5-year-old with a crayon,
Yeah.
Right.
and then a 25-year-old who lives in New York and do the same thing, and his is $1 million, and that's
Yeah.
Well, the
thrown
only
in the
thing
trash.
that,
that
the only thing that backs the 25-year-old that in New York is the fact that he has a certificate that said he graduated from art college.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
One of
Yeah.
my favorite quotes is learn all the rules and then break them. And that applies to art and any true trade. You have to know the rules and the structure of what you're doing before you can go off on your own and figure it out. Like, you have to know how to pull a straight, consistent line before you can start doing these crazy things, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So were you artistic to begin with? Did you draw and stuff as a kid and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah, my mom is very artistic, very crafty, and I was always stealing her paints and destroying her paintbrushes.
Yeah.
But I never had any formal art training. Like, that was always one of my biggest regrets, is I never went to art classes. I never learned the basics of art. And so when I started doing this, especially, I started studying color theory and all these different forms of art. So pinstriping brought out a lot more of my creativity than I had ever experienced before.
Yeah, so you actually became a student of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was one thing I tell people. Anytime somebody messages me wanting to learn, I'm like, you'll know within a month if you love it or not, because it's frustrating. It's like, you will never feel so much anger in your life than when you have a picture in your head and can't get it out.
Or so much self-doubt.
Or so much self-doubt. That's crazy.
That's the hardest part of art. Is
I'm into
self-doubt.
it.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
have that problem with my photography.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
You
sure.
know, it's like, and I know that I would suck at pinstriping just because of like when I'm trying to crop something out or something like that and just trying to.
It's harder on the computer than it is
Yeah,
in
it's
real
just
life,
man,
man.
you know.
Computer's hard.
It really is.
You know, I think going back to that, as the one doing it, the universal truth is knowing that you're never going to get an accurate feedback from anybody.
Yeah.
You're your own critic,
true.
and if you're not happy, it's not done.
Right.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm gonna be honest
right,
with you,
you're right.
I've never, and I'll say it right now, I've never in my life completed a piece of art because it's never done.
It is never
Everything
done.
I've ever done, anyone could have told me it was, oh my God, it's amazing. And even I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool. But I always leave that little last bit that's not done.
Well, that's part of being an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hands down. You
Absolutely.
always think everything that you do sucks.
Yeah.
You're never endingly self-doubt, you know? Never endingly. It doesn't matter what you do or how many people tell you how great it is or it's amazing and it's awesome and oh my God, you're so great. In your head you're going, yeah, okay, that's great. You're not into art, you don't even know what you're looking at.
Right.
And I think it sucks.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's what you think in your head.
There's-
I think at the core, it's that the term is imposter syndrome, is what they call it.
That's exactly what it
And
is.
and I didn't even know that term existed till somebody told me
Hey,
that. And
explain-
I-
This show's getting deep, man.
well, it should. It should. We're talking to an artist, and I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has their foot in the door some kind of way here at the table.
Yeah.
And that's just, you never get over that.
I constantly think I'm a fraud.
Oh,
like
yeah.
every night, I'm like,
I'm like-
why do people like me? Why do people like this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with them?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are they seeing that I'm not?
I didn't even know that was a thing, and somebody pointed it out, and I was like, oh my God, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's
I
heavy.
did not know that about myself.
That is so heavy.
I did a really big show in New Jersey like three years ago. We drove straight through the night, didn't sleep, had to have my dog with me. We were in this warehouse off the ocean in like November. It was freezing, and this dude wanted me to do his helmet, and I wiped that helmet like 6 times. I told him, I was like, just come back at the end of the show. I'll have something on this helmet by the time you come back.
Right.
And the whole time, my boyfriend's like, please don't wipe that off. That looks great. And I'm like, no, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
And he came back, and I still was like embarrassed. I didn't want to take pictures of it. I was
Right.
over it. And this dude loved it. Like,
Yeah.
he was hands over, like, just so stoked for it. And I was
Yeah.
like, get out of my face. I don't even want to look at it. Like,
you're like, I would like my shame to leave now.
I did. I was like, I didn't even want to charge him.
Right.
And he like handed me like $300. I was like, oh, I'm such a poser. Like, what am I doing?
I have that problem too, because I mean, like, you know, if I go to an event and I shoot an event and I see pictures that somebody else has taken at an event, you know, I'm like, oh man, that shot's awesome. You know, I'm like, God, you know, but like that's a problem with like Instagram and stuff, is like you see there's so many things out there, you know, and I have difficulty when I'm hired to do an event and then I do the pictures or something and then I see other people's stuff and I'm like, oh, I suck. And then, you know, but the promoter's like, man, dude, you knocked it out of the park. You did exactly what I wanted and whatever. I'm like, I did? Because that guy's stuff looks so much better, you know?
Yeah.
It's part of being an artist, and it's the downfall of social media, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Human nature is to compare yourself to other people, and it's never happened before. So the legendary greats, you know, even if we go to pinstriping, you know, the greats of pinstriping, right? Well, they were just pinstriping in their hometown. They didn't have to see every pinstriper on every corner of the earth and what they did.
Yeah.
So
And
there
compare
was
it.
no self-comparison, right?
Yeah.
The beauty of that is it made them come up with their own genuine art form. They weren't
For
looking
sure.
at what other people were doing
Yeah.
and like, well, I think that's awesome, so I'm going to mimic this and mimic that. And that's the reason why you don't see a lot of authentic art anymore, is because
Right.
everybody spends all their time comparing themselves to
Well-
this amazing person over here.
Oh,
you-
absolutely.
You also fall into that thing of you know, you post, or somebody posts something and it goes crazy.
Yeah.
So everybody's got to go and try and copy that, right?
Right.
You know, and it's like, oh, it has to be dark and whatever, you know, because like that's what everybody wants to see. And then, you know, you're out there with like big, bold, bright colors or something, and, you know.
But your time to shine comes around. It's all
Yeah.
cyclic,
Right.
you know. It comes
Yeah.
around. It's just
Yeah,
a,
it's just
a
you have
fad.
to-
It's a fad for a moment, but in your head, you're
Yeah,
like,
right.
am I messing up?
Yeah.
Doing what I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
doing right
Yeah.
now? Am
And
I
then-
really living my
yeah,
truth?
and
Am I
then-
living my truth?
Right. And then you go and waste all this time trying to be that person.
Right.
And, you know, it's stupid.
I don't ever do that. That's why I always take a punk rock mentality to everything. Like, fuck them. I don't care what they're
Fuck 'em.
doing. I do whatever I want.
See,
If I
and
don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it.
yeah,
right.
I feel the other aspect of that. Like, I'll think of something really cool, and I have to be like, I don't want to post this, because if I post this, I'm then going to see 10 other pinstripers doing the exact same thing,
True.
which has happened more times than I can count, especially in the last year that I've developed my own style.
Yeah.
And just in the last 6 months, I've been doing this fade on things.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, I see 3 or 4 different pinstripers who have a lot more followers than I do are all of
Yeah.
a sudden doing this fade.
Right.
And but who am I? You know, I only have 5,000 followers. That jackass has 100,000. Like,
Right.
you know,
5,000. I'm impressed.
Oh, thank
we
you.
we have 134.
that's amazing.
So if you could share this on
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
This is a very unique time to bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up, Tiff.
What's that? What's that Instagram page?
Yeah, right?
Whatever yours is.
Yeah.
I've learned how to use social media. Everything's a tool if
Right.
you allow it to be.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't post my political views. I don't
Right.
post my opinions. I post art and my dogs. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
all I got for the world, you know? And I have to force myself to make posts, because if
Yeah.
you don't,
Yeah.
then you'll get into the void,
Yeah.
like
Right.
the algorithm void.
Yeah.
And you have to interact with people, which is my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah. It becomes a job, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to paint and
Right.
have people buy my paintings. Like, that's why do I have to actually talk and like
that is the
interact?
problem. It's just the
Like,
way of the world now, though.
Yeah,
you
it
have
really
to have,
is.
You have, and like you said, to your credit, what you said a second ago, it's a tool, and if you don't manage that tool right, then you actually can't promote yourself.
Right, and then you're the problem. It's
Yeah.
no one else. Yeah.
Right.
I would love to get to the point where I can just hire someone
Yeah.
to do all that
You have-
for me.
I've got a social media
Yeah.
person for that.
Do you? Ooh.
No, I'm saying I would like
Oh.
to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, who's your guy?
How much are you
Who's your
paying?
guy?
Well, hold on. What are we talking about?
So, Tiffany, do you sell online?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
So what do? Like, you do like a piece or whatever and then sell it online?
I try to, because I've tried to get away from doing commission, because I really dislike doing commission, because people never know actually what they want.
The expectations, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll tell them what's going to look good, and they either don't trust you or they trust you too much, and then you go crazy, and they're like, well, I want it simple. And you're like, well, that's why I wanted you to tell me what you wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I try really hard just to paint what I want to paint. And if people like it, they can buy it.
Well, that's
So,
awesome, though.
I have a big
mean,
raffle right now of like 5 different helmets and stuff that I've just had sitting around the house. And I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
no one's going to spend $300 on a helmet that they don't know if it's going to fit them or not. So how about like $10 raffle tickets? Like, the most
Right.
though you'll be out is $10,
Yeah,
you know?
$10.
So
Yeah, waffles.
And that would be
Waffles are
cool.
really good, don't they?
Having a helmet, even if it didn't fit, it was cool.
yeah, it's
Yeah, it's a
wall
wall
art.
hanger,
Yeah,
Yeah,
$10,
absolutely.
yeah, for a piece of wall art.
Well,
so
well, that's one thing too. Is road racing and stuff. you have to recertify.
Miata.
Helmets. Yeah, I didn't say it. Shut up. Helmets.
Where's the whiskey?
Yeah. Well, helmets go out. So
Right.
so like now, if you have a helmet that was a 2010,
Yeah.
you can't use it. So like, what do you do with this old helmet?
Miata.
All right.
So
Give them to me
even if
so
you
I
have a
can
Miata,
paint
you
them.
can- Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
I'm
So
from-
I actually had Aaron Blue
Yeah.
did old helmet for me when I started autocrossing and stuff.
Yeah.
He did a helmet for me.
I love his style.
Yeah.
Me too.
I
It's
love
cool.
his style.
That
Yeah.
filigree
Yeah,
70s.
the scroll. I love
Yeah,
that
it's very
stuff.
But
yeah.
exactly the same thing that you were talking about. Like he was like, "Oh, this is crap," and blah blah blah, whatever. I'm like, "Dude, that's badass. That's exactly what I wanted."
Right.
Like I'm totally fine with it. I like it.
The one
Like,
thing I
yeah.
really respect about Blue is he does not go around being like, I pinstripe, I do all this pinstriping.
Right.
He is the first one to be like, I do this every now and then. I just really like doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
He's so quiet.
He is, man.
He just doesn't, and like you, I think he doesn't understand exactly how talented
For sure.
he is. Because like you said, his style is different too.
I love it.
It's cool.
I have like one
It
of his
is.
skate decks in my house. Like that was
Yeah.
at one of y'all's events.
Yeah.
And he was set up, and I was like, "Hey man,
Oh, yeah.
I want one of those boards." So I was like, "What do you want for him?" And he's like, "Well, I try to get 200 for him, but whatever." And I was like, "I'll give you 200 for it." Like, if
Right. The
that's
pri-
what
the
you-
price is the
like,
price, man.
I'm totally cool with that. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's one of those guys. Like he will never. I don't think he'll ever see how good he actually is.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine if he pinstriped every day, he would be phenomenal. Like he would be going to like shows all over the country
Yeah.
for pinstriping.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the Mercury that we've talked about, I'll send pictures of it. But Tiffany did the dash in the Mercury.
Yes,
Oh
she
man,
I
how long ago was that? That was
It was
like
a while ago.
that was like 5 or 6
I'll
years
have you
ago.
know, I
Yeah.
protected the crap out of that thing
Yeah,
when we
but-
were chopping it, and then I was policing the
I
crap,
know.
and then he goes, "We're gonna have to redo it." I was like, I spent the whole weekend making
It's-
sure. That
well, there's going to be welding in the corners, and it's just no coming back.
I
from it.
tried, man.
Well, and it's going to be car's going to be a different color,
Right.
So the dash is probably going to be a different color.
Which thank God I get to redo that because that was awful.
What? See,
So I was
there
about
you
to
go.
say,
I love it.
Awful.
Pro side is job security.
Right, right.
So we're Tiffany. We're going to do it's a white. We're going to do, and it's got like a green hue to it, and we're probably going to flake the roof like a green, like a heavy, like
Okay.
deep green. So we'll do some sort of Frankenstein inside.
Yes,
So it'll have, I've got this whole
I could
thing
pinstripe
worked
a
out.
Frankenstein
That's
on the dash.
Yeah. So
That would be
to that point, we're going to do the door panels. I've already got it figured out, and
Okay.
I'll get it laid out with you. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if y'all are done, we'd like to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
doing
always
business.
talk about
Does,
Mercury.
does he
Yeah.
pay? Does he pay now or?
I'll take a deposit after the show.
I feel like you're obliged to do that 120% now because it's recorded.
It's now promoted.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm in. I hate that.
well, you should know that you have until October to finish it because that's when the show is.
Yeah, I got to get it painted by this weekend.
Right.
And yeah.
Because that always happens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, we were making some pretty large boasts last year when we drove
Yes.
up. He did the one tire fire after we chopped that thing, and everyone's like, "It'll be back painted next year."
Oh, my gosh.
And as soon as he
Oh,
said it, I was
no.
like, "He's insane."
Oh no. Oh no.
That chop's not even done.
Right.
promise-
On the
Promises.
bright side, you were looking for somebody to do body work on the Mercury.
Yes.
And Tiffany now does
She does
work.
body work.
There we go.
Really?
There we go.
Boom.
Nice.
I have all my own things and everything.
Got all her
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Very good.
There you go.
I might even have a place that you could do it if I didn't want to take it to your shop. If you want, well, we'll work
Yeah, I
all
don't
of
know
that
if you.
later.
I don't think you could bring it to mine.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if they would support me doing side work.
We might
We'll
have
just
a
leave that
spot or
one out.
two that
Yeah.
we can.
I got this.
Yeah.
I got this worked out.
Provide you with your own AR-15.
Yeah, that's-
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no.
come
it's
on.
not-
I love how
Oh.
scared of our building he is.
I'm not
Where's
scared
this
of your
building?
Oh, it's on Chelsea. You
It's
need
on
an
Chelsea.
AR-15.
Oh.
You got to take into consideration that Brereington is from East Memphis.
Yeah, you just have to not look scared. Like
Yes.
walk in with confidence and assertiveness.
I remember the last time I
Or just
pulled
go
my
with
gun.
me.
Last time I pulled my
That's it.
gun.
I
Or just
go
go
with
with
you.
Mike. Yeah. Yeah.
You hear that, Mike? Last
Mike knows about you.
time I pulled my gun, I was thinking, "Don't look scared."
Yes. yes.
right.
See, I had my shop over on Vandalia in summer, so I know fear.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's a different flavor over on Chelsea, but it's fine.
I have no fear. I don't even take a gun.
Yeah, I don't get that, but you know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't even take. You should get it. You were with me in the gas station,
And I had a
you should
gun.
get it.
And
I
you
had
had
a
a gun.
It helps if you
I had
look like you've
friends.
been to prison.
Oh no! Like,
You know,
or if you've
it
actually
kinda
been,
helps.
or if you've
There
actually
it
been
is.
to
Or
prison.
if
There it is.
So what episode was
It's
it?
exactly right.
I don't know, but Tiffany, a short story. Mike and I walk into a gas station in the hood.
Right
In
around the
Chelsea.
corner from our
On
shop.
Chelsea.
It was like,
And I'm standing there, looking through the potato chips, and then some dude, Mike, what's up? And this is straight up in the hood, and
Yeah.
Mike knows some dude that we're in the hood with, and
Right.
I'm hearing this popping off, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have to shoot somebody, and
Sean.
Mike hooks up, and hey man, how you been?
Right,
You
we
know?
get the handshake hug, and I'm
Right.
walking out, and Sean's eyes are this big around. He's like, "How does that dude know you?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. It is what it
It
is."
is what
just,
it is.
just my dude.
Yeah.
Sean was so surprised he left without his wrap snacks. He couldn't.
Yes. I hate those things, man. And here's why I hate rap snacks. Okay? I have a rant.
It doesn't get more Memphis than that.
Hey,
It
no,
really
hold
does.
on.
Nobody else in the country understands what that is. That is an Atlanta, Memphis thing. Like,
Yeah.
I live here and I don't know what they are.
Zaps.
that's your Sean.
Okay,
man.
now hold on. I've got a rant. Okay, now
All right,
you
no, go
son
ahead.
of a bitches are going to listen to this, okay? My favorite potato chip on the planet are Zapp's Voodoo.
Okay, all right.
Yes, eat
And
those
you
a lot.
can't get those damn things in most little junk stores, but you can always find the wrap chips.
They're called wrap snacks, first off.
Screw
TM.
those guys. Screw
That's
those
a
guys,
registered
man.
trademark, man. I,
That
li-
and my cream soda Dr. Pepper. You can't find that. Like
I think I turned you on
That's
to
because
that.
you're
no,
looking.
I promise you didn't.
I gave
No,
you the first one.
It does
No,
not
you did
get more
not.
white than that.
I know,
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
I am so
You're
white.
looking for white guy snacks in a ghetto gas station.
Yeah.
You're not going to have cream soda, Dr.
I'm
Pepper,
looking at- yeah.
and
Vanilla-
Zappers or
vanilla
whatever the hell.
flavored.
You guys are out of Heineken.
I didn't see any White Claw back there.
I was told there'd be Zimas in the cooler. Oh, look, Jolly Ranchers. Look,
All right,
dear, they have
so,
Jolly Ranchers.
so we got way off. All right,
new.
so
That's
Tiffany,
amazing.
you moved here. You started pinstriping.
Oh yeah,
That was an
Yeah.
hour ago.
I know. We got way off onto rap snacks and everything else. So how long were you pinstriping before you actually started doing it for money?
Ooh, a long time.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
It really, like, internally bothers me when people just start off right off the bat making money off of it or trying to make money off of it.
Right.
Because it destroys the worth. So that was one thing. I was lucky I had a bunch of really good pinstripers kind of take me under their wing, and they're like, look, if you charge $40 for a piece, but we're all charging $160 for a piece,
You're undercutting
they're going to
them.
go to you
Yeah.
because you're cheaper, and then you're bringing the value of what we're doing down.
Right.
And
Wow.
so that was a big moment for me, and I was like, okay. And so it was 3 or 4 years before I started legit making money off of it.
Wow.
What
Wow.
was the first piece
That's
that you
deep.
charged for it?
Well, I think that's like.
Oh man, I don't even know.
No?
I wish I knew. Yeah.
No?
I wish I knew.
If
Yeah.
somebody's listening and has the original piece, we'll buy that
Yeah.
back for twice what you paid.
How,
Yeah.
how would they know it's the
If they
first
know.
piece you charged for?
Yeah, would they know?
Where were you
I
at
can't-
when you sold it?
I wasn't doing shows or anything. Like I wasn't being invited to anything. I was just. It was probably one of my buddies, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that's how it all started.
They're gonna
you know?
watch this and they'll know.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They'll know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think it was a helmet. I think it was. Yeah, it had to have been a helmet because I wasn't really doing panels yet.
Motorcycle.
No, I know what it is. My buddy Jacob Scott. He had his woman worked at a school, and their music program was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and he had this old stand-up bass, and he brought it to me. It's still one of my favorite things, and I wish I could buy it back from him. But I did all the work on it, sanded it down, painted it flat black, and did like green and lime green pinstriping all over this thing.
Yeah.
Made $100.
Right.
you
Right.
go.
Yeah. Spent
But
a
it
month
was-
on it.
Oh, spent a month on it for sure.
Yeah.
But that was the first thing I had ever made money off of.
And now it's priceless.
I
That's a
seriously,
good
I
one,
wish
man.
I could. I wish I could get that.
Is
from
it a
him.
Does-
working stand-up
say,
bass
does he
or is
use
it
it?
an art piece?
I think it's up on the wall.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of that stuff got replaced. And I know that when you paint stuff, it kind of ruins the
I don't know.
some of it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe the rattle can paint I used was probably not the best
yeah.
for that.
You know,
but,
It depends
you know,
on how famous you get.
right.
Right.
That'll be.
Well,
worth
also,
the time.
I, mean,
Yeah.
I think it's really the tone and the sound, and it's up to the artist playing it. Really, I mean, it doesn't
I
matter.
don't
what
know
it is.
anything about any of that.
Oh, I know Gibson paints guitars, and
Well,
they
who-
sell them for a lot of money.
I know they do.
Voodoo Larry has a pinstripe bass.
Yes,
So
yes, he does.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is as far as tonal quality and the tone woods, but he does it.
Do you
I don't
want me to
think
call him?
I don't
Call
think the
Voodoo
pinstripe.
Larry.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was from a school that was getting rid of one. I don't think we're worried about tonal quality.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't
Probably so.
exactly the Philharmonic quality stuff. I mean,
Well, Sean has in Sean's defense, he has a buddy that hand makes.
He's a luthier.
Yeah,
Makes guitars.
a luthier. Is that what
Luthier.
that's
A
called?
luthier.
Yeah.
What?
That's what a guitar maker
A
is
luthier.
called.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Shout out
That's
to
our word for the day.
I'll be honest with you. I think I think in
luthier?
all my time as a paramedic, I might have delivered a luthier. I think
Yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
luthier Johnson.
Yes.
I believe was
See,
Well, he was in 2 Live Crew, right?
right next to Uncle Luke.
last week we learned serape.
Serape.
Yeah.
I love
I
serape.
didn't teach you that.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
you did. Yeah.
Y'all
Yes.
didn't know what serape was?
No, we didn't know
No.
a serape.
You were on like a 36-hour awake stint. You were
yeah,
barely.
you were half
like,
asleep, but you
I
had
needed
this,
a I
you
needed
had
a
this moment
serape.
of clarity.
I probably had my head. I was down with a serape on.
Yeah.
How are y'all into hot rods and don't know serape?
I knew it. I
I
know.
didn't
My
have a
truck,
cho-
my
I didn't
truck
have a
has
choice.
serape.
I was gonna say.
I mean, I just knew it was a mix.
You want a new
Mexican
one? I'll give you
like-
Yeah.
another S word. Sopapilla. You know what that is?
Yes.
Soap
Delicious.
And pillows. Soap and pillows.
Yes. Honey or beans, bro. Never the
Yeah,
same.
Actually, I guess it was 2 episodes ago that we learned.
Talking about the
Could've
Gene,
been.
the Gene
Serape.
episode with
Yeah,
his
that was serape,
That
yeah.
was at
Serape.
Gene's house.
Yeah.
Serape
2
seats.
episodes.
Yes.
Yeah. He went to Cancun, Mexico, and
Correct.
curated those
Yes.
right off of a kiosk that would probably charged 3 times as much.
Yeah. By the way, that article is off to Modern Rotting. So
Oh, very nice.
I'll let everybody know when it comes
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Yep. Me too.
I'm going to buy an issue or 2.
Good.
Wish I had something in a
They will
car
be happy about
magazine. How cool would that
I
be?
do have something in the magazine.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I was
I
gonna
got published
if
in
you
a-
ever finish
That's
one.
what I'm talking about, Tiff.
Yeah, oh.
Wait,
You got to finish one for it to be in the magazine.
I like it.
Okay, that's rough.
go ahead,
That was low. That was low.
No. We're not getting off track. Tiffany magazine
It's
shop.
the one thing I got. What do you got?
It was Gnarly Magazine came out. They started printing probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I was in like the third edition. It was actually really cool.
So like a feature on you.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a whole it was like a whole layout. It was the
Really?
coolest.
A
Oh
spread.
man, I got like
There was a
yeah,
spread.
it was a spread. I got like 6 of them and sent them to my mom and my grandpa and everything. I was
Oh,
like,
cool.
look at me,
Are they still in
guys."
publication? The Gnarly?
Oh yeah, Gnarly Magazine. Yeah, they put out some really
can
cool
you get
content.
back issues?
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
That's totally gnarly.
What is it? What is it? Is it a pinstriping magazine or
Just
is it
custom
like
culture in general,
custom culture?
but like all the featured artists are all pinstripers and
Okay.
airbrushers and stuff. So
Very cool.
it's
That's
really
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dig that, man.
I'm trying
Do-
to find.
do you
a
airbrush?
picture- Oh no, no.
So-
I'm just asking. I didn't ask.
I've got a
People
buddy that
always
does.
really.
You know, and you know his what is his name? He was going to actually do Legends, and he backed out on the last minute.
So not a good buddy.
Not a good,
Not a
buddy.
good friend.
Obviously.
Yeah.
He's got a second chance. We got another show coming up.
And he works.
I don't
at-
know. I didn't get invited.
Let's talk about that right now.
You're invited.
Seriously, I don't.
No,
I'm not a promoter.
Hold
but
on.
I'm just
Sean
saying.
said he was going to invite you.
You have
Whoa,
three
no,
promoters
no.
and organizers. I'm just a guy running his mouth. I would like for you to be there.
When is it? I don't know. I'll have to check my
So,
schedule.
When is it, Mike? You tell us. You're the one that's going
I don't know the date.
Labor Day weekend.
If you
When
guys
is
want
Labor Day weekend?
September 8th, 9th,
3rd,
something
4th,
like that.
5th.
Look,
Okay.
I'm the worst person to ask. Somebody
Third.
asked me last week,
third.
and I
Yeah,
said
I like how they're responsible.
It's the
Right.
3rd, 4th, and 5th.
I said
Everybody
it's
knows what's
Memorial
going
Day,
on.
and they said that just passed, and
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Oh,
then
yeah,
it's the other
Labor-
one.
Yeah, I'm the worst at
It's the
Labor Day
other
and
bank
Memorial Day. I
holiday.
always get those. I always get those two mixed
Well, the
up.
thing about the Legend show is you can wear white on the first day, but you can't wear white after Labor Day.
Why is that?
I don't
No,
know.
you can do whatever you want now.
But
People
why
are
is
wearing
that?
rosaries as necklaces thanks to Madonna. We can do whatever.
people are
Did
wearing
Madonna
pajamas.
We're all blaming Madonna.
People are wearing pajamas.
Is it
to
too
the
late?
grocery
Did I
store.
show up too
yeah,
late?
yeah, that was a while ago.
Thanks to Boy George, people are doing all kinds of weird stuff.
Do you really want to hurt me?
Oh God, no. No. I'm leaving. I'm done.
I'm more of a crying game guy.
We're all gonna be crying after this.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
that took a weird turn.
Yes.
So,
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, to go back.
We warned you before we started recording.
That is true.
You signed the waiver, didn't you?
Tiffany, who are your influences? Who have you like? I know some locally, but nationally, like what got you into doing pinstriping? First of all, like what made you think like pinstriping instead of say airbrushing or anything else?
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah?
I was sitting at the Dublin house. It was 2:00 in the morning. I had been drinking for like 8 days straight, and I needed something. And I don't want to be a tattoo artist. I just needed something other than drinking, or I was just going to die at some point.
Yeah.
And it just, for some reason, is the only thing I've ever done that felt right. Like the only thing that I felt I had a natural talent for.
Right.
And an escape.
Yeah, and it like that day, as soon as I got those paints, I quit. Like I said, quit drinking for a year, just straight,
That's crazy.
and stayed home every night. Stopped going out, stopped partying, and was
That's
just
beautiful.
Like,
You said
painting.
crazy. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean,
I hear you.
enthusiasm,
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
it was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I feel like it was just something I was meant to find.
it was an epiphany.
Yeah, it really was. It was like this come to God moment where it was like, I'm either going to just die from drinking all the time and driving my gremlin into a wall one day,
Yeah.
or I'm just going to do something
I
else.
totally forgot you had a gremlin.
She had a gremlin.
What was the name of the gremlin?
Dirty Harriet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
God, I
Yeah.
So
think
what was your
I-
first car?
My first cool car?
No.
Car.
First car.
Car.
Oh,
Sean had
like
a
a
Miata. We don't care about what it is.
84
not my
Ford
first.
Tempo.
Hey, there you go.
Yep.
Same one.
Yeah.
84? You guys had both 84s?
You had an 84?
80. Yeah, it was probably 85.
Man,
something
I
like that.
loved that car.
84, 85
I
tempo, 5-speed.
loved that car. Yes.
With a sunroof.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of us are going to unplug you guys.
No, that was a
That
cool,
was my first
that was a
car
cool
that
car.
I actually owned legally.
Oh. Well, what about illegally?
You
I'll
stole
leave out
cars,
the
right?
details.
First of all, I
but-
would advise you not to perjure yourself.
Yeah, we'll leave details out. When I was like 14, I lived in Salt Lake City, and it snows there quite often, and it's awful. And I was very cold, and I didn't want to walk. And so there was this car that was there, and it was easily accessible. I brought it back. I ended up bringing it back.
Wow.
What kind of car was that?
Ride share.
Oh, that was like an awful, like, little, I don't know,
Were the keys
just
in
a
it?
little sedan. No.
Chrysler K
no.
car
you-
or something.
Oh, no.
I love this. All right, I just wanted you to say that.
I
Now,
hung
how-
out with a
how
lot
long-
of bad
how
people
long
when
did
I was
it-
a teenager.
How long did it take you to figure out how to start it?
Okay. It took about 3-4 hours for me to figure it out.
Oh,
I had never, it was my first time ever doing it myself without the guidance of other people.
Of your
And I
friends.
was like, I'm so cold. And when your hands are cold and you're trying to rip out wiring, it's,
Right.
I love this show.
I advised you not to perjure yourself.
that's a statute
Statute of limitations.
Yeah,
that actually
thank you.
doesn't. Statute of limitation doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. I
Even
found
if
that.
she
out-
was in a juvenile?
well, here's the thing: is I found that
Okay,
out a couple of
jailhouse
weeks
lawyer
ago.
over here.
My record's sealed. I'm good.
And I'll go ahead and I'll share how I found that out. I got a call a couple of weeks ago about undoubtedly, supposedly, I'm going to say that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I have a warrant in Texas.
I've heard of this.
Allegedly.
Really?
They
Allegedly.
told all of us.
I
about
have a
this.
warrant in Texas. They called me and they said, yeah, we're looking, for Mr. Abbott. And I'm like, this is him. And they said, we would like to talk to you about this warrant that you have. And I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? I left that life a long time ago.
Like-
What do you mean a warrant? Like, this sounds serious.
Past is catching up with you.
So they called me about a 21-year-old unpaid fine that undoubtedly I still have a warrant in the state of
What?
Texas for.
Wow.
From 21 years ago.
That's a Texas-sized warrant.
And here's the thing is I could absolutely pay that thing, but I'm off put at this point, and they're like talking about this warrant. I'm like, okay, so what needs to happen. Basically, they're like, well, you just send us money. I'm like, it's a 21-year-old warrant.
That sounds like a scam to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a collection company because,
Right.
of course, the government sold it to a collection
Right.
company.
Oh, that would not give them shit.
And
no.
the,
How
and
do you
the-
get any kind of documentation?
Well, right.
I'm
So-
still gonna have to smuggle you into Texas.
So
aren't I?
so I'm like, so are you going to, come get me over this warrant? They said, well, no, we can't do that. And I said, okay, so you can't come get me, you can't suspend my license, you can't do anything about this warrant. So how does this warrant negatively affect me? They said, well, if you ever come back to the state of Texas, you can be arrested for this warrant.
If
And
you
I
get
said,
pulled over, it's on there.
yeah, and I said, so basically what you're telling me is either I'm not welcome in the state of Texas, or if I come here, I better not get caught coming there. And she's like, yeah, basically that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
it.
telling you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I probably don't even want to pay this.
Don't you worry, bro.
Right.
I got people.
That's awesome. You're
we'll
like
get
banned
you.
from Texas.
Yeah. Well, at one point
No,
in
he's
time,
not banned. He's welcome back on conditions.
Yeah. At one point in time in my past life, I had warrants in probably 8 or 10 different states. So,
Yeah.
of course, I forgot.
So you
one.
were not surprised when
No,
this
I
happened. You're
forgot
like,
one, like-
that's fair. I accept
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn, they finally got it. All right, what do you got? Which
The
one
crazy
is it?
part is I had no clue I had a warrant in Texas. Like I thought I got all those taken care of, and then like 21 years later, they call me about like, yeah, by the way, you have one here too. Like, dang.
That's funny.
Just can't win.
Wow.
I'm just done.
So and I asked them about the statute of limitations is the reason why I bring that up, and they said, in the state of Texas, there's no such thing as a statute of
I
limitations.
feel like that was
Oh,
coming from her
Texas.
creditor
Oh.
anyway.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there's no statute of limitations
Yeah.
for us to get paid.
Yeah,
son.
pay it,
right.
dude. Pay it.
It's
Yeah.
like these stoplight cameras, and we'll talk about that because
Ooh,
people
you
listen.
totally don't have to pay those.
You
No,
don't.
you
Let me
don't.
tell you
Totally
why,
do
and I
not
don't
have
care
to
who
pay those.
tries to come after me for that. And I've heard it from different people. Those people, that whole company that comes in,
It's
they
a
are
company.
not sworn police officers or officers of the law.
Right.
That is a collection company.
Right.
You're going to get some threatening letters after the third one. They just stop calling. and
Yeah,
sending
Yeah.
stuff.
that's right. I don't
And they
pay
can
those.
kick rocks because that is the biggest, stupidest scam ever.
Right.
It is.
That's not how it works in Switzerland, though.
Okay. I'm so very sorry for the Swiss.
Just saying.
If you guys are in Switzerland, I'm sorry for you guys.
And they will keep late charging you.
oh yeah, you had like $2,500, and
But here's the thing: is
Yeah.
what are the odds you're going to go back to Switzerland?
Man,
I
if
love
you-
their
If you
chocolate.
go to Europe, like Zurich is a major hub for places. So like, if you were to land in Zurich, they could pop you right there. In
This
Zurich.
is some first world problems
At the
going on.
airport.
Right,
I'm
yeah,
just-
yeah.
I'm not
can't go
paying the
back to-
fines in
look.
Switzerland.
Oh.
I'm already blowing everything I have to go to Europe, and then I'm gonna have to blow everything else I have in order to get out of Europe.
I don't
if
think you can say
were to-
blowing everything to
Yeah,
go to Europe.
That was an excessive amount of that. There's
Thanks.
a lady present.
I hear you. That's
what she
hilarious.
said.
I'll,
She said it. I didn't do it. She did it.
First time.
I had to break the ice on that
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't want to be
Yeah.
cliche.
So the story on that is that the speed limit in Switzerland is 120 kilometers an hour on the interstate.
Speak English.
But if you go, kilometers.
Speak American.
It's 120 clicks per hour.
65, I guess,
Okay.
on
2.2. man.
yeah, on the interstate. But if you go through the tunnel, it goes down to 100 kilometers an hour, which is 54 something, whatever, something like
What
that.
did you do, man?
And well, they put the cameras right at the entrance to the tunnels.
Right.
You know how many tunnels there are in Switzerland?
no, I've
there was
never
at
been
least
there.
one.
A billion. Like
Yeah.
So which
You
one
go
did you
through-
moon that you got
you go
in
through
trouble?
every mountain. You go through every mountain, and I was
Wow.
going down to Italy and was running pretty fast and hit like.
Were you in the
You
67?
hit. Wait.
No, I
Let
was
me
in
back
a rental
up. Let me
car. I was
back
in
up.
a rental car, so I was getting. I got late fees for the rental from the rental car company.
Yeah.
And
You're
and
so.
Switzerland.
So
Did this cross over into Italy? Are you an international fugitive right now?
I could be wanted in Italy. They
I knew we were in good company.
Yeah.
Italy did not.
You're like a James Bond villain. How did you-
Italy did.
We have
send-
to. We have to get him money.
Yeah,
Penny.
Italy did send me a ticket, but but there wasn't any kind of fee or anywhere to send it to. So I could be one of there.
I feel like you have straight offended Switzerland, and
Switzerland is like they are
very
no
upset
joke.
with you.
They're no joke. You know,
I
there's
don't know. I feel like they
there's
try to
no-
remain neutral.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's no racetracks in Switzerland.
What?
None. Zero.
Wow. You know,
Zero.
So they don't believe in fun.
Right.
Right.
and when you're in a tunnel, that's when you really want to drive
That's what.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's when
Exactly.
you want to.
Now you put it in
Exactly.
neutral and
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
that's some Memphis stuff, though. They
Yeah,
don't
that
do
is-
that
that is
everywhere.
shit.
Or
That is
gunshots.
Yeah.
That is.
I did not know that. I
Or
thought
shoot your
everyone did
gun.
that.
You want to shoot your gun when you're in a
Just do a
tunnel.
desk pop when you're.
Yeah, every time
It's
I
a
go,
thing.
every time I go into the tunnel over by the airport, you know, that's what
Look-
we do.
You look up, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's the runway
I
for the
miss-
airport. I just fucking.
All right, we need to go back to Tiffany now.
Do we? Tiffany's having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
Tiffany, how many desk pops would you say under the Winchester Bridge?
Let's see. Before we went on this huge tangent,
You went on the tangent, Mr.
I know.
International
I said-
Criminal.
No, it was all of us. I don't know who started it, but yeah,
Abbott?
I kept it going.
I feel like you
It
need
wasn't
an alias.
Actually, I did because I
Anyways,
talked
yeah,
about
might-
statute
Stealing
of
a car.
Yeah.
Statute
Statute
of
of limitations. There you go.
That
So
started
you
that
just blame
tangent.
me because I'm the
Yeah,
easy
and then we
one.
went.
And my,
30
and my
then we went
ADD brain just
30 minutes out
thought
of the
what a
way.
limitation as a statue would look like. And it's really a guy just reaching and not being able to get anything.
Just out of reach.
Basically, it was a portrait of my life.
Yeah.
It's a statue of
Womp
limitation.
womp.
Oh, they can't all be winners, Tiffany.
So influences.
Oh yeah, back to that.
That's where we were.
It's the one
That's
guy
where
trying
we
to keep us
were.
on the rail.
I'm
Yeah.
trying. Influences.
I don't necessarily think of influences. I think of people I admire their style because it's so completely different than mine. Like we talked about women in the industry.
Yeah.
There's Cassie Custom Art. She's amazing. Her gold leaf is crazy. And Billy DeVille, she does great stuff. She actually also started a pinup magazine called DeVille.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, DeVille. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's obviously Hot Rod Jen. One, because she has her own style and she's always done her own thing.
Yeah.
And has never really played into like the politics of
Right.
the industry, you know, especially being a woman in the industry.
Yeah.
You start wondering why, like being a girl doing it, especially in a male dominated situation with cars and everything, you know, you start wondering if people are giving you attention because you're a girl doing it or if
Right.
you're like really talented. You know, they're like, do you like me or do you like my stuff? Like,
Right.
I've been in awkward situations
Man,
where
yeah, I was gonna ask that. Like when at shows and stuff, you get like creepy stalker guys that act like they're into pinstriping just to get close to you.
actually, okay, so there's a reason why I don't do a lot of local shows. Is because for the longest time I get a lot of old dudes that have sit in their campers by their cars that they, you know, trailer in, and a lot of your boyfriend teach you how to do that, and then you know, like I got so tired of the Mississippi scene that I
Right.
refused to do local shows for a long time. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Y'all are old and outdated, and nobody cares what you think.
Right.
Like
Does your man know you had your paints?
Yeah.
we would, and he'll come to shows with me, and he'll sit there, and people will immediately start talking to him first,
Right.
and it's like, and he'll be like, she did this.
Like I don't know.
My
what the
name's
hell
not
she's
Tiffany
doing.
Trouble. That would be her.
That'd be awesome. He's like, yeah, Tiffany, nice to meet you.
Yeah. But that's another reason why I stopped doing commissions, especially for people I don't know, is I showed up to do commission jobs.
And they didn't understand?
Shit gets weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Like,
You're talking about
all of a
like-
sudden something won't be there for me to pinstripe and like.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he started like he knows where I am at all times.
Yeah,
on my
that's
phone,
important.
especially
Jeez.
when I go to do jobs because it gets weird. People get weird,
Just make him go with you.
I mean, he's
don't
got a
wanna do
life too,
that.
man. I mean,
and he will do that. He'll come and sit with me if it's something that I feel extra weird about. But how boring is that? And
He's in the car now.
you guys been together long?
I feel so bad. Yeah, about 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow, has it been that long?
That's like 3.5 years
so
longer
you
than
weren't-
any other relationship I've ever had in
That's
my
awesome.
life.
You weren't
Nice.
bartending when y'all met.
We
was you?
applaud
We
him.
were, and that, yeah.
I tell you what. Here's and I'll bring
Trying to
it up
date a
just-
bartender, that's a good time.
Well, that's
Yeah.
tough, man, because I see certain bartenders.
He
or even
tries all the
relationships- No, that's not it at all. It's this right here. when like the dude always is at the bar.
Yeah.
That's awkward as shit. I'm like, dude,
There were-
let
yeah.
her work. She's not going to meet the guy of her dreams at this. She hates this job. I promise you. She's,
Right.
she's looking for the next bar to get to with less guys to
Right.
bother her. I promise
Yeah.
you.
No, that's why I mean, I have a lifetime membership at the Gold Club because it's the one place where I could go when I got off work, and it's literally illegal for men to hit on me or women. It's literally illegal for dudes to hit on women at the titty club.
Did you know that, Sean
I did
Bremerton?
not know that.
I know
you
my rights. I know my
You've been
rights.
breaking the law in Italy and here.
I was
Just so
like,
you-
great, I'm wanted again.
I have a Tiffany Gold Club story.
Oh God! Everyone has.
I'm
a
so
Tiffany
glad
Gold
this
Club.
went here.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not what you think.
So me and some buddies went to Nashville and went to see Iron Maiden years ago.
Okay, it's
Dig
worse
that.
than what we thought.
And we drive back, and it's like 3 a.m, and my buddy lived over off White Station, and I roll past the Gold Club, and that green gremlin was parked right in the parking lot.
Every night. Every night.
I wanted to come in. I just wore ass out. I was like, I'm not going to go hang out with her at the strip club. So
It was because I lived right down White Station, and
Yeah.
so it was perfect. I could bump on over home and not
Yes.
even realize how I got there. But
Yeah, yeah.
the girl, I knew all the girls. They were all super sweet. Most of them would leave me alone
Mm-hmm.
because I would go in there to like decompress after bartending for 12 hours and having everybody in my freaking face all the time.
Yeah.
It was just me time. And security knew me, and if they saw a dude come up and try to talk to me, they would immediately throw him out. It was like, this is
That's awesome.
amazing.
Wow.
I'm so protected here.
Very cool.
So I hung out there. That was actually, I took my boyfriend there on like our second date. I was like, just let you know, this is something that I do.
He's like,
And if
this
it's
rocks.
weird for you,
he is a lucky, lucky man. Let's get that right off the.
I'm all lame. I don't go there anymore. I'm all civilized.
the old bait and switch.
That would have just upped the Gold Club's business right there. We could have
Recently
promoted for
remodeled,
them.
10 years ago.
remodeled.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Have
Have you ever
Oh,
been
wait,
in
were
there
you there
when
when
the
it was-
lights come on? Because that's a good time.
I'm not allowed to talk about these
Okay.
things. No, I'm just kidding. Did you go there when it was under construction? 10 years ago would be around that time?
No, that was before my time.
Ooh, I'm old.
Yeah.
Sean, you're 150. Was the Gold Club a thing?
No, platinum was the.
See,
Oh,
I'm
no, I
sad
didn't
I
know.
missed platinum days. I'm bummed.
I don't think we're actually going to go down there.
I want to go to Candyland. That's where I want to go.
Where's Candy? I'm not familiar.
That's on. Is
That's
that
in
Reno?
Florida, right?
No, that's here.
What?
It's off
oh,
like
no,
Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah.
You want to go there?
There's a
you really-
there's a little itty bitty part of me that really wants to see what
Is
it's
that the
like.
one
in
right
there.
at 9 Arnold?
Call your
Yeah.
What's your boyfriend doing tonight?
Yeah.
We'll all go there.
No,
I'll go. look at see how quickly they bounce.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't really want to go.
they
It's
let-
just
will they
something
let my
fun to
daughter
say.
in?
I'm just letting my wife know I am not going to the. Yeah.
No one is going to the titty club
Well,
tonight.
well,
No,
well
no.
here's a crazy thing. I've actually only been to one strip club in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Join the Navy and say that.
Yeah, one strip
know?
club, and I went for one single time. A buddy of mine was just turning 18 or something, and it was a ratty, not a place that you wanted to go.
The dudes
ever.
didn't look very good. They weren't keeping themselves.
No,
up.
no,
I was gonna say,
there
no,
was
he's-
no Patrick
no, no.
Swayze's there.
Yeah, he's been to a
No.
ton of drag.
Bunch
he's
of
been-
Chris Parties.
He's been to a ton of drag shows. He
I
just
have been to
doesn't-
a ton of drag
I
shows.
love
I've been
the
to
drag show.
I've been to one or two of those.
Yeah, yeah. I actually took my wife to a drag show in
Right, you
in
said
Key
that.
West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
She
that'd be
was freaked
fun.
out. She
Well,
she wound up making us leave. She was freaked out about it.
I like how you played drag show chicken with your wife and
Yeah,
you won.
yeah.
And
it
you
was-
won, yeah.
Oh, it was great because we seen them from down the way. You know, the drag queens, and my wife's like, "What's going on there?" And I'm like, "Oh, those are guys." She's like, "No," and I'm like, "No, those are like 7 foot tall guys. You're failing to take into proportion the rest of the people
distance.
around them."
You've
Like,
seen the
like-
hands on some of these people.
Right.
And we go, and the moment the drag queens started hitting on me, my wife was done.
Yeah.
She was so ready to get out of there, she left her phone.
She got jealous.
Wow.
And then we had to turn around and go talk them into letting us in after it was closed to get her phone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
I've never been to Key West.
Oh, it was
yeah,
amazing.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I've
It's-
always
it's-
wanted to go
it's
down there.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
Iguanas run wild.
cool. Yep.
Yeah.
I did not realize that
do
when I was
cats.
going there. You
You're
know,
like, who lost their lizards?
right. And I'm like, well, I was driving and I seen like these things going, and I'm like, what is that? Because it was in the distance. I'm like, that doesn't look like a snake. And then like I see one, and I like locked up the rental car. Was
Baby
like, it is an
alligators.
iguana. Like, and I'm like jumping out of the car in the middle of the highway, like
So
running.
excited that there's this iguana there.
There's iguanas, you know, and like I did not know that they were there. And roosters run wild.
Yeah.
They are rampant in Key West.
Well, how about-
Rampant cocks
Well, how
everywhere.
about, yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say,
Yes. So
hey,
it's a perfect place for you, Sean.
Yes.
Sean.
I love that kind of thing.
Cocks everywhere.
So,
Yep.
if you like cats, the Hemingway cats. are
well,
there.
and
Yeah.
to that point, the Hemingway cat he had 6-toed cats.
6 toes.
Yes.
Yep.
And we have a 6-toed cat we got in lieu of going to Key West because we just didn't make it one year. So we
Yes.
got a 6-toed cat.
Custom order, huh?
Custom, hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to find.
My parents had one.
Yeah,
And it was feral as hell.
This cat's a little wild.
Yeah,
but,
and that
yeah.
sucker hit me.
You think he's just not pissed that he has extra
He
dishes?
hit me.
Might be.
He was sitting down and like they wouldn't let him out. They wouldn't let him out without being on a leash
Leash?
thing, right?
Yeah.
Well,
This
because he
is-
would. He's got
Cats on a
6
leash
toes,
freak
man.
me
He'd
out
just
anyway.
jump
Yeah,
out
that's
over.
terrifying.
you know,
Unnatural.
He'd go over a fence like that or whatever. So they were out of town. I was watching the cat. I leaned over him to put the little clasp on the thing, and that sucker looked up at me, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, you want to go outside?" And he goes, bang, and he hit me right here, and I had racing stripes, like blood,
You're
like
telling me all 6 toes got you.
razor blades. I was just bleeding like crazy, man. It was
Oh, that's
hilarious.
one-
This is another instance
Yes.
where you can blatantly tell that Brereton is from a completely different side of the tracks as us. Like,
You know when I
where
heard
I come from,
cat
you don't put
cat
leashes
on a
on
leash.
cats.
No, no.
I'll be honest with you. Up
You
until
don't put
5
leashes
minutes
on
ago,
dogs.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago, I didn't know what a 6-toed cat was.
Yeah.
Hemingway cat.
Yeah.
So we
They're delicious in tacos.
I have. I've got 4
Oh my-
cats.
The
and 4
Chinese
dogs.
don't have that on lock. I can tell you that.
Jesus.
Lord.
We have 4 cats and 4 dogs. My house is a freak show.
Yeah.
It is
Well,
an absolute
well,
freak
let me
show.
run with you here. So I have a dog. I have 5 cats.
Wow.
I have
12
5 sugar gliders.
I told you I wanted to get into the sugar glider
I was
thing.
trying to
You
talk
want a sugar
Javier
glider?
Don't
out
do
I
of
it.
want a
the
sugar
out of the
glider.
2
Taylor would
raccoons.
kill me if I brought home a
right.
sugar glider.
I have no
He would
adult
kill me.
supervision. I can do that.
Hey,
You want-
sugar glider right here. You can get rid of one of them.
Yeah. I need to get rid of all 5 of them.
No, I can't do that. I could probably do a mating pair.
Yeah.
Well, here's the weird
Not
thing.
because I
about
want to sell them or anything.
Yeah, but
Yeah, here's the weird thing
They'd
about the
be
sugar
brother,
gliders
sister.
is they came in a 3 set. It's 1 male and 2 female, and they're a mating triplet.
Oh, wow.
Man,
Yeah.
that guy.
All right.
that guy
So
had
of
it
course
made.
we named them after Three's Company too. You know, so there's Jack,
Naturally,
there's Chrissy, and
yeah.
I
there's
mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How does he act
Hilarious.
though? Like when you come around, is he like, no, I'm one of the girls?
Yeah, do you
Come and
think
knock
he's
on
gay?
our
That was the whole thing. That was the whole shtick of the Three's Company. He acted gay.
Come and knock on my door.
Sugar gliding to you.
well, what I did is I put a sound thing on the door, so as soon as I open the door, it plays the theme song to Three's Company.
No.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
that is
exactly.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm totally lying. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Tiffany was all the way in. Now
I
you
was
broke
so
the trust.
excited. Yeah,
She was like,
I was
that's,
so
she's like, that's
excited.
amazing. I would like to adopt them and get the soundboard.
And get the soundtrack for all this.
You want to hear some wild stuff?
right.
What do we got,
I
Sean?
was just like, I don't know. Maybe we need to get back to.
What? Get back to what? This is what we're doing. Are you cool with this line
It's
of
all.
questioning?
Oh, yeah,
it's,
no,
it's
I'm
off the
good.
rails. I
Yeah.
know nothing about Tiffany anymore.
That's not true. I was
just hanging
homeless. I bartended. I drank a lot. Now I pinstripe.
Yeah, but
Okay. Anyway, now that that's done, let's get back to sugar gliders and raccoons and 6-toed cats for some reason. Not even a Cheshire, just 6 toes. All right. You take a minute, Sean. Sean turned his microphone off so you could whistle laugh. Anyway, the compound that he has, he almost wound up with 2 raccoons.
I was trying to get 2 raccoons from Javier.
I don't.
Why
let
do
me
you
get 'em.
have raccoons?
I decided to step in. I make a lot of jokes about eating animals. I was at the fire station. A guy, I think he might have taken out the mom because she was a nuisance and didn't realize there were some
They're
babies.
babies.
And they sat. And
They were
anyway,
epic.
he showed up. We named him Pablo and Escobar. And
Perfect.
I hand fed those things for a day and a half until I could get them to a rehabber, certified rehabber.
Aw.
So. But Mike wanted them.
Yeah.
We just have a lot going on.
I tried to adopt a baby possum in my backyard.
I love possums. They're really
Drunken,
nice.
very
They're-
drunkenly.
they're-
Yeah. I was like created this whole plan. I was going to build a tree house in my backyard, and I named him Pete. And that was like our third date.
is it
Taylor's such a lucky guy, by the way.
Is it possum or opossum?
Tolerant.
Very
heard
tolerant,
We're in the
very
South.
patient.
Is it opossum? I thought. Anybody?
Not in the South.
No.
No,
not in the
possum.
Out of all
Possum.
5 of us, okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
possum.
anybody who says opossum.
Possum. Yeah, I feel like I would slap somebody. If
I
they
say
said,
possum,
"Oh,
but I'm
possum."
just curious. I got corrected on this recently.
It's either a rack or a poss. That's it.
A rack?
Raccoon,
Raccoon.
or possum. A
Oh,
rack or a poss.
That is some cold water stuff.
It's definitely cold water.
When you see them that often, you just have to shorten it.
Yeah.
You
It's a
know?
rack.
Yeah.
Is that a rack or a poss?
Yeah, that's cold water.
It
That's
is.
cold water high
Then there's
school
a
right
hybrid.
there.
Yeah.
Cold water high school.
Yeah.
Class 87, bitches.
Nice. All right, Tiffany.
Oh,
So we're gonna go back.
oh,
We're gonna go
hello.
back.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm here.
We've gone far enough. No, so like, so who else? Obviously, you worked with Blue some early on, did you not? No,
No.
you haven't.
Never did.
All right. So
No, we've never
Rose-
painted together.
Really? Mm-mm. I find that hard to believe.
I know.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We've talked about it lots of times, but
Yeah.
we've just never painted together.
Really?
We even worked in a body shop together for a minute when I
Really?
first was learning. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked at the same shop as Taylor, and that's.
And there was
where
never
I
an
came
instance
on.
where it's like, maybe we should do that thing.
We've talked about it. It's just never
Yeah.
matched up.
You just
We've
always
never
did
been
the
in.
The right
Never
project, you think,
Yeah.
or just timing,
Yeah.
timing issue?
I would love to do like
Now
a
it's
panel
definitely a
jam.
timing-
Yeah.
Now it's definitely a timing issue. That
yeah,
you're not
shit. We
working
just
with
need to
Blue.
bring him up here.
Oh, no,
and
not Blue. Blue.
Bluefoot.
Foot.
Bluefoot.
Oh.
See, you're bringing up bad things. We're
Am
gonna,
I?
we're gonna
No,
skip
no.
that whole deal.
That's fine. Okay.
I loved Bluefoot as a person. He was a great dude.
Yeah.
He was so much fun to be around. He gave up caring about pinstriping in like the 70s. I feel like he got his style back then and then just never adapted or changed.
Okay.
So that's my personal opinion on his work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I mean, hey, everybody's got an opinion. about
It's
it.
very, very 70s style and very.
I can see that.
He was an
Yeah.
old guy.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say,
He
and
was.
he did get
Man,
pretty
and
shaky.
he
towards
was
the end.
so much fun to be around. I loved seeing him at like the Redneck Rumble. He was always there in his wheelchair,
Yeah.
like cruising around. He was so much fun to be around.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tie 2 previous episodes together since it's relevant. The Hollywood episode, talking about Blue, talking about how they met, is a pinstriping story. And if you go
Yeah.
back to that one,
Yeah.
listen to Hollywood talk about it. There's some reverb on that, but if you can tolerate the reverb, listen to Hollywood talk about how the first day they actually did business and became best friends after that.
Yeah.
Was a pinstriping story. And I loved it because Hollywood was, like you said, people come in with their own ideas and expectations. And about halfway through, if I'm recounting the story correct, you guys fix it if I'm not.
You're getting
About halfway through talking about it, Blue said, "Are you going to pinstripe the damn thing, or am I going to do it?" And Holly was like, "I guess you're going to do it." And he goes, "Well, let me do it then."
That's awesome.
And they became best friends.
That's
after
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
There was another old school dude, Perkins.
Yeah.
He did a lot of the body shops, the lines and stuff.
Yeah.
He
Gary-
moved up north.
Gary? Was it Gary Perkins?
I
I think it was Marlon.
I've
Perkins.
always just called him Perkins.
Yeah,
no
I don't
idea.
know.
Yeah. No,
was
so, all
Marlon.
right. So he moved up
Definitely
north?
Marlon.
Yeah, and he was the one that tried to set me up in the body shops doing the lines, and I realized how much I hated doing that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I charge
Factory
like,
lines, yeah.
Oh man, I charge like $200 a panel just because I don't want to do it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like, and then when they're like, okay, I'm.
But I was going to say,
Nah, you get
but they
yeah,
pay it.
No,
But
they'll
let's
pay
hear
it because I'm the only one left to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And so,
Right.
even my own shop, they'll be like, "Do you want to do this?" And I'm like, "No, not really.
Yeah.
Please don't."
Charge it.
That's a whole different thing. Those dudes
Yeah.
that can pull those straight lines down
Right.
down a car,
Yeah.
that's
All the way.
insane.
And also step them, so a 1/4 line and an 1/8 line.
Yes,
is like,
dude.
And perfectly, a lot of guys, they use like 1/8
Tape.
tape or
Yeah.
whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I've seen guys that did it straight
And
freehand.
it's so
like,
fast.
Oh, yeah.
the-
yeah.
Yeah.
it's like 10 seconds and they're done with the side of a car.
Yeah.
That'll be $500.
Yeah, the few times I've done it, it takes me like 4 hours because I'm like
Perfectionist.
Yeah,
Back,
I'm like
back,
lining up the tape, and it's
A friend of my dad's does that. Well, he did. He owned a used car lot in Senatobia.
Yeah.
And he would pinstripe the cars that came in, and exactly
That's
what you
crazy.
said. That's all he could do.
Yeah.
Right.
Is just walk from one end of the car to the next, and,
Right.
and it was the same thing. You know, Bost used cars on Main Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Jimmy Bost.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He
Yeah,
would, you
dig
know.
that.
So
Super
every
cool.
car that you bought had a Bost pinstripe job on it.
Yeah.
I'll zone out on those videos. They're just I'll
Yeah.
watch them over and over. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most guys, especially newer guys starting out, can barely hold a line for 2 inches, let alone 20 feet.
Right.
It's like that's
That's
crazy to me.
what she said.
But you know,
I
that-
opened you up for that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for teeing that up.
And,
I was
and-
just say though, going back to photography thing where I'm talking about editing and taking things out, I've found that I'm more accurate. Like if I'm I'm trying to darken like a windshield
Right.
or something like that has a straight line on it, I find that I'm more accurate if I'm quicker
right.
Yeah.
going
Oh, yeah.
across there
No.
than trying to
Oh, yeah.
ease across. You know, I don't know why, but
Well, and that's one of the tricks too. When I'm pulling a line, I don't look at where my brush is. I look at where I want my brush to go.
Right.
So I'm constantly. So I don't even realize if I've messed up a line until I'm done with it, because I'm like, oh shit, because I wasn't looking at the actual point. But and
so you're looking at the area coming
right
up.
underneath my brush is where I'll focus on.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever watch any videos, watch some videos of some graffiti guys. Like,
Oh man.
I did graffiti for a while, and I kind
Graffiti
of
as in
apprenticed.
spray painting
Yeah,
graffiti?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of apprenticed underneath a guy that was MSK crew. A lot of people won't understand that, but Caesar,
I understand that.
yeah,
I grew up in the
yeah,
graffiti
yeah,
scene,
Yeah,
yeah.
But if you watch those guys do those like swooping lines, so they'll like mimic it and do this,
And then hit it.
when they
It's
pull that
muscle
line,
memory.
they pull it like I'm talking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy thing to see. It's a whole different form of art that when you watch somebody do it, you're like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's
same
unreal.
technique, going a completely different part of the world. If you look at Japanese calligraphists,
Yeah.
I love
um,
calligraphy.
kanji, and I'm butchering it, but if you could pull that up and look at it on YouTube, the greats do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that everything is precision, but it's done so fast.
So fast, yeah.
And it's muscle
And-
memory.
You said calligraphist. Is that right?
Calligraphist.
I don't know.
Calligraphy artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think
You can
it's-
say rack and
Pos?
and I
Right.
can't calligraphize.
I think it's
could
just calligrapher.
I feel like I
Calligrapher?
should have had a panel here, and I should have just been painting the whole time.
Maybe
I get
it's not too
so
late.
antsy just
That
just
would've
like
been-
sitting
You
here.
have paint, and we
I got
have
some
we have
brushes.
some
Hold
brushes.
on.
I was
Hold
say,
on,
all right,
hold on, hold
cut.
on.
We're gonna do it again.
redo,
That's
redo.
funny. Here you go.
Welcome everyone to episode 19. Get the panel out.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious.
Ooh, you want a
He's
door?
gonna do
We'll
it.
give you a door.
You gotta bring it.
A door.
We got a.
Hey, it won't be the first time I've done a door.
Oh, we're actually pausing.
Yeah.
Oh, are we
don't- hey,
actually
you know what? That's
legit
actually-
pausing?
We are actually pausing.
Oh man, he's got a panel and everything.
That's hilarious.
So we got Tiffany a panel worked out, and I guess Tiffany's gonna do some pinstriping right here and there while we're doing this interview.
She's multitasking.
She is multitasking.
She's gonna bring all your brushes up to snuff and then start.
Yeah. She immediately grabbed my stuff and talked about how it wasn't to par.
How-
That's okay. That's
How
all right.
horrible it was,
What did
and
we-
how it sat there
What
for
did
like
we say earlier
5
when
years.
Sean was setting up the cameras? I love everything you're doing. I'm gonna need to just change directions. Actually, we're not gonna use anything, and
Right.
I'm gonna need the same level of energy from you. Here we go.
That's right. And go.
Reset.
Oh man, that's funny. We actually have a great sunset going on out there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah. So what do you think about Von Dutch's pinstriping? Honest, no holds bar, honest. Not politically correct, straight honest. Tell me.
I love Von Dutch. I named my dog Dutch.
Right.
I love that he was a pioneer in his craziness, and he wanted to just do his own thing. He was an awful pinstriper.
Right.
In today's terms, there
Yeah.
was no line consistency. there was no end meets end
Right.
stopping, you
Yeah.
know. And he hated pinstriping.
He did.
He hated that.
A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
He was a
hated it.
metal worker.
And he made guns and knives and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And he hated towards the end of his life when people would come to him for pinstriping. He had signs all over his trailer that was like, if you're here for pinstriping, go the fuck away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
he hated
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he was a metal
Yeah.
worker. Have you ever watched any of the videos that Ed Roth did where he recorded Dutch and got Dutch to do lettering and stuff? Because I will say that Dutch was a lettering badass.
He was, for sure. With lettering, he was so good at that stuff.
You consider him
That's
more of
so-
a sign painter, maybe?
Well, that was his upbringing. That was his classical upbringing. That's what got him into pinstriping. Is he came up a sign painter. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his dad was a sign painter and kind of brought him up in sign painting.
Yeah.
But he loved metalwork. He was a machinist extraordinaire, and like she said, a knife maker.
Yeah.
Big into motorcycles, but he was actually what his passion was metalwork.
Yeah.
But he got pegged as, this pioneer of pinstriping, and he became the in thing. So everybody just wanted to force him to be a pinstriper, but he was actually a metal guy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, this is going to be off the beaten path, but I'll pull it back. I didn't know Von Dutch anything about him, and it's the funniest, weirdest thing that got me interested in it. The movie Cars, which is the kids' movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Cheech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get too cliche. He was I think he was a '59 Bel Air or Impala
Yeah.
convertible, purple haze thing.
Oh yeah, yep.
So there's a line when they light up that off the beaten path town that he winds up in.
Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs. When they light up all the neon and everything pulls around, and they do the slow cruise. And he's got hydraulics, and he lifts his back end up. And he goes, "Check out my Von Dutch, baby!" And I thought to myself, "That's a T-shirt. What is that?"
Yeah,
and I
most
actually
people
went.
think.
So the marketing was that, and Disney saw that, and I don't know if that was a Cheech line or it was a scripted line, but it was enough of a line where I was like, "What is that? That's not just a clothes thing. He's wanting me to see something under his chassis, so that's pinstriping or that's some kind of art." And I went down the rabbit hole, and I was like, "Oh, he was a car builder." I was like,
Nice.
"So that's
Yeah.
really," but it's just funny those little nuanced things in a car movie, or since
Yeah.
we're talking about Von Dutch, period. All the influences. We had Gene on a couple
Right.
weeks ago, and there was a Von Dutch tie there. So like that thing's spiderwebbed out everywhere. But
Yeah.
I hate the marketing side of it. Had him contemporary listed as a clothing thing.
Well, did y'all see the documentary that they put out just probably about a year ago about the clothing line?
No.
It was Von Dutch's daughter sold the rights to some random dude
Yeah.
who didn't know shit about pinstriping,
Right.
didn't care. It just became in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, no, it
it
wound
just
up-
became like
Yeah.
it was adopted by Paris Hilton and all like
Oh,
the
yeah.
worst kind of people to
You
represent custom
walked into
culture.
Wolf Chase
Like,
Mall, and it was in Hot Topic all over
Oh,
the
yeah.
place.
Hot
You're like,
Topic, yeah.
"Oh, there's some stacks and buckles and a Von Dutch shirt."
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is like most of the stuff that was on it was actually early Sailor Jerry stuff, and I believe it was the same company, whatever that company was that came up with that. They basically bought the rights to Sailor Jerry's
Right.
artwork.
Ed Hardy.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Ed Hardy and Von Dutch and all of that stuff, and they
Yeah.
started rebranding it as a clothing line. And a lot of people wore it and had no clue what it really was.
It's really frustrating, infuriating to watch these documentaries and all these people repping these names that they have no idea what any of it means.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
Here's a random fact about Sailor Jerry. Sailor Jerry actually was only a licensed tattoo artist for 8 months.
That's crazy. I
There
did
you
not
go.
know that.
8 months he was a licensed tattoo artist. I was really big into to Von Dutch, not the clothing line, but actual Dutch. And all of that early, custom culture artwork. Sailor Jerry, of course, I was into tattooing. But yeah, he was an illegal.
Sorry, everybody.
There's a lot of rumbling going on. Turn
Yeah.
the mic off while you're messing
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. No, you're good now. You're good. You're
There
good.
you go.
Perfect. That's
We're finally-
perfect. Yep.
We're finally there.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I wholeheartedly expected Sean Young to be better with a rod.
That's what most guys say.
That was so much struggle.
All all the ingredients were there. We were talking about sailors. He was handling a rod. He's a Navy guy. There was a I was on a ship with seamen joke coming in at any moment.
Right, and it was his time to shine.
You let me down, Sean.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, he was. So the story goes, he was only a licensed tattoo artist for a total of 8 months, and he was actually a tattoo artist in Hawaii. But
I have a story about Sailor Jerry.
let's hear it.
So, there's a guy I work with who's a security guard who was a Korean War veteran, old guy. Okay, had a legit Sailor Jerry tattoo on his forearm, and it was kind of hammered looking.
Yeah.
But it was the real deal.
Yeah.
And it is exactly. It was the little pinup, tiki doll girl, and
Yeah.
It was neat. I've never seen a real one.
Yeah.
You
I'm gonna have to find a picture because on the scooter cruise that I did with Dwayne.
Yeah.
Right, and I rode the Cushman. It was something crazy. It was like 150 miles. We rode Cushmans, round trip.
Yeah.
But it was epic. It was fun. So we wound up at somebody's house. I don't remember who it was, and I was sitting by one of the guys that came on it, and on the cruise came on it. Yeah, yeah. Let's watch that. But anyways, I was sitting with one of the guys, and we were talking, and he was asking me about my tattoos, and we were talking tattoos, and he was like, "Well, yeah, I got a tattoo," and he showed me his tattoo, and it was Sailor Jerry work, but I didn't know if it was done by Sailor Jerry.
Yeah.
The age of the tattoo looked proper.
Yeah.
And the style of the tattoo, it was Sailor Jerry flash. Like it was straight up Sailor Jerry. And I'm like, man, when did you get that? He said, oh, I was in the Navy during this time, and we wound up ported in Hawaii, and I went to a local shop. I said, you don't happen to remember what the tattoo artist's name was? He was like, man, it's something generic. He was Sailor something, Sailor Jack, and I was like, are you sure it wasn't Sailor Jerry? He was like, that was his name. He had no clue that was like somebody to be proud of, and he had a Sailor Jerry tattoo on his arm. I'm
That's
like,
amazing.
Oh my God, dude! Like I took a picture of his arm. I'm like freaking out, and he's like, that's a big deal. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's pretty awesome. Not a lot of people can say they have a Sailor Jerry tattoo.
Can I have your skin when you die?
Yeah.
Right.
Total fangirl moment.
Yeah.
You didn't even know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's one bad thing about being a tattoo artist. Like you can't increase value.
Yeah, when you're dead, it kind of goes with you.
Yeah.
You say
in
that
Japanese
in Japan,
culture, they save them.
The Yakuza
They really
actually
cut
take
'em
that
off?
and
Yeah, they frame them.
they frame them, display them, they tan them, and they becomes
Yeah.
art.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell my
Yeah.
kids, don't save my back when I'm dead.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
What about the Gojira that we got on the
You can
leg?
save my Godzilla. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I
Did
don't
you
know.
say Godzilla?
I did. It's accurate. Spent-
So
Film actor.
I have.
oh,
a tat-
I'm in trouble for being.
No, you're fine, Javier. Don't worry about it.
It's holding a machine gun. I could call it whatever I want.
Yeah, I have a tattoo of Godzilla wearing a kimono with a machine gun.
With the machine.
I've seen that tattoo. Who did that?
Kevin Johnson.
That's right. Yep.
Yep,
I've
sure
seen that
did.
tattoo. Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's I started letting my kids pick what I get.
Which is epic.
Yeah, what do you guys want me to have? And
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's where we go.
Yeah.
I actually went on trip to see my grandparents, and I had my mom, my niece, my grandparents on each side draw me little flowers on Post-it notes.
Yes.
That I'm gonna get tattooed on me.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. I kind of got out of the idea of, I want to get this and have this theme. Now I just started collecting things that I wanted.
Right.
So when I get adopted by you, I'm right neck. I think I've got something picked out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll save it for that.
Yeah.
So let's double back to that. Your family, your mom, grandparents, yada yada yada. So your mom lives in California.
In Salt Lake City.
Is your mom Mormon?
She was.
She was.
She was.
Interesting.
I was raised LDS.
Yeah?
Really?
Baptized and everything.
Man.
Yeah.
Really?
I've been to temples. I had a really close childhood family of mine, LDS.
Really?
A lot of them moved out back to Utah.
Yeah.
And it tripped me out because the non-practicing LDSers there was a term
Jack Mormons.
Jack Mormons. You beat me to it. But I thought that was just some stuff they were putting me on, and then as I grew up, I was like, that's a real thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a real thing.
Can you define that for me?
Okay, so there's a lot of weird little things about the LDS religion. There's no coffee, no no energy drinks.
Right.
Obviously, no smoking, no drugs.
Like traditional,
no
you get
drinking.
the underwear too. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
let's talk
That's
about
a-
the magic underwear.
I don't know anything. That's something you get when you go through the temple, when you get to that phase.
That's a level.
I did not reach that level. The last time I was in an LDS church, I was like 14. We had just dropped acid at the bishop's office.
Was the bishop
And-
there?
No, okay, so they were having a conference
Okay.
downstairs, and there was like hundreds of people in this church downstairs, and we all went down there, and I was sitting in the back, and I swore there was no one up at the podium, but I heard this voice, and it was like this deep echoing voice, and I, loud as shit, said, "God, is that you?" And then I ran outside and threw up in the bushes, and that was the last time I.
Sounds like he answered
That was
you.
not only the last time I dropped acid, but also the last time I was in a church.
So
Wow.
you dropped acid in a Mormon church.
and then
Yes.
spoke to God.
Wow.
Just to frame this whole thing.
Tiffany, you're a catch. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So you said
Taylor's
your
a
mom,
lucky guy.
You said your mom used to be. Was she still a practicing Mormon when you came out here?
No,
No.
she's over the years, the politics and they don't, women have their place.
Right.
And it is not normally to be free thinking,
Right.
but that's also very strict Mormon. And I think the politics and just the whole ideology behind it just kind of started leaving a bad taste in her mouth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's now a full-blown pagan now.
Really?
Wow.
Her as a living, she reads tarot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's pagan.
She is
pagan.
fully.
Yeah.
That is
Like
a
when you say
complete
pagan,
change.
you don't mean just like anti.
No.
She doesn't go to church anymore. You're like, no, she's an astrologer.
She's legit. Yeah, and she's happier than I've ever seen her. It's crazy. Like she
Yeah.
was miserable. I just always remember her just being sad when we
Yeah.
were kids, and
And she's probably more religious now.
she.
I mean, really.
Yeah, she. I mean, it.
Everybody
is
has to find
completely-
their thing,
for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah,
That-
and it's
that's
hers
what-
for sure.
Yeah.
And she has her little community. You know, she works at like a pagan store in Salt Lake, and like they just have their own little community. They all do like gem shows and stuff like that. So-
Crystals and apothecaries and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run through the woods naked.
Which I believe in a lot of that stuff.
Harvest Moon, obviously. We're doing that in October.
So
We are
so,
not.
I'm
is
doing
your
that in
grandparents
October.
Still Mormon?
They never really were.
Yeah.
So my mom went to BYU Hawaii, which is a Mormon.
Brigham Young,
Mormon-
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brigham Young University, and I don't remember anyone in my family ever being in the church except for my mom. So
I got to tour the temple when they built it here off Witten Road.
really,
Oh yeah,
they let a non-practice
Before they bless it.
practicing- Okay. Oh.
and
Yeah.
and then like a year later, someone broke in and they had to tear everything down, like cleanse everything and
Cleanse
re-bless it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then later, which was just in the last 5 years, this place is ridiculous. If you ever get a chance to walk through, it's a no pressure sale. Like honestly, they'll just let you walk through. And
Yeah,
see
there's
what-
certain parts you can't go in.
No,
to,
you
but
can't. But they, I was impressed. The baptismal pool there's this pit and like oxen facing 4 different cardinal directions, and I was like,
The architecture's gorgeous.
It is, and it was like I was like, this is the set of an Indiana Jones movie. This is the coolest thing I've
Then a
ever
big
seen.
stone
If-
rolled out of the.
Lot of symbolism.
No, it's just it's heaven on earth essentially, and there's different rooms that equate
That
out to different
symbolize
things.
different- yeah.
And I'm not a representative
There's
of that
just a
religion
lot
at
of
all.
symbolism.
No, it's more than that. It's as close as
It's
you can
incarnate,
get.
yeah.
It's as close as you can get on this plane to ascension. We're
To
going
their
way
Yeah,
over
if you
version
ever
of
get the
heaven.
chance to go to Temple Square in Salt Lake City, it's
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gorgeous.
I've been there.
Yeah, I mean-
Christmas in Salt Lake is my favorite place to be. They light up all of Temple Square, and Salt Lake is a beautiful place. I'm so grateful that I grew up there. I mean,
Yeah.
Salt Lake
flowers
is
and
gorgeous.
flowers and trees on every street. Like
Really?
it's
Yeah.
so well maintained
Yeah.
because the church
Super
still
clean.
owns a mass portion of the city that it's well taken care of.
Have you ever spent any time in the Northwest?
No, I wouldn't consider
So-
Salt Lake Northwest.
No.
So
South
basically,
Midwest.
the bulk of the Northwest
Yeah.
is predominantly Mormon. So
Okay.
in the South, there's a lot of baptism.
Baptists, yeah.
Yeah. Baptists are kind of the controlling
Evangelical,
religious
yeah.
force. But if you go northwest, it's the complete flip, and it is a massive culture shock.
There's
Like,
also
it's
a
crazy.
huge Mormon population in Hawaii. Some of the original missionaries. That
Yeah.
was one place that was targeted, and I
And
mean,
why not? Because I mean, it's
it's
Hawaii.
yeah,
Right.
it's-
I'm going on a mission
oh,
to Hawaii.
gosh.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
go
have
to
a
the mission.
we have a bunch of Samoans in our family because just that
Wow.
yeah that
Interaction.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to bring Mormons back to the race.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, no. Matt has
What?
something.
What?
Give Matt the microphone. He's got something.
Whoa. Are you lost?
Make sure you frame yourself in there, Matt.
Now I realize why I don't talk when I'm painting
In
at
Salt Lake
jobs
City,
because
yeah.
it's really hard to do two things.
Oh
at
yeah,
once.
no, but if
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I'm
in
like
Salt
just
Lake
piddling.
City, there was and Bonneville. It takes it back to Bonneville.
Salt flats. Yeah.
So you got Salt Flats. The Mormon Meteor was a race car that was raced out. Abe Jenkins used to do 24-hour, like just full out in circles out there at the Salt Flats.
Right.
And he would only stop and drink milk.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Milk.
And he broke all kinds of records out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
including
That's
his
all-
butt.
Yeah.
That's also if you've never
Yes.
been, you have to go to the Salt Flats
You can't
Yeah.
tell
and
us
for the
anyone- We're
races.
talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's amazing.
Have you been?
Oh,
How many
I-
times you've been?
Yeah, I used to go when I was a teenager all the
Did you?
time. Yeah, I
Did you
mean,
go during Speed Week? Like the big stuff, or just out?
just no, we would just go and like with our own stuff
hang
and
out.
race around,
Just
and,
there.
and then there's the dunes, and we would take dune buggies up to the dunes and camp out.
Have you ever done Speed Week? Is
That's
it something
always-
that's on the list for you?
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
This might be the year.
It might be.
You'll
I
have
mean-
to come along on the caravan.
Oh, are
Appar-
y'all going?
We have obliged ourselves.
You guys are
Sean's
killing
upset.
me.
Sean's upset.
Someone is.
Y'all
I might
going?
not.
I'll feed this. I'll feed into this.
Feed into,
yeah.
feed into it. You'll be in the train of people we re-interview on the salt.
Yeah, we've
right.
we've got Javier has some commitments to.
Well, and,
that-
Javier's made a lot of
and
commitments.
technically I've been called out.
You have been.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did get called
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
You come. You
By,
come. You
What?
come. We interview.
When is it? When is it?
It's
Do the shout out.
It's
See, once again,
What-
dates.
Hey,
Yeah,
our
why don't-
our Bonneville guy.
It's
Matt.
the first week of
Marion.
August.
First week of August.
first week of August. Speed
of
Week.
this year. Okay.
So Salt Lake
August
City.
6th.
Put me down for
6th
2024.
through 13th.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I got shit to do this year.
You're right.
Well, Poteet's going for the 500, and it might be his last run, so you might want to be there. Also, we've interviewed a bunch of people that are going to be there. I said a
Yeah,
bunch
but
of shit
people
about
go
being
every
there.
year. People
Jeffrey
go every year.
Ferguson.
I've never been in Bradenton. You've been what 3
I've
or
been
4 times?
Twice, yeah.
Twice.
Two,
Yeah.
three. Now,
If I can pull
now
it
Matt,
off-
Matt lives there every year.
Yeah.
If I can
but,
pull it off, I'm taking one of my Airstreams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One,
Oh,
of
there you
your,
go.
one of your airstreams.
You can park at the bend.
That's a that's kind of like what we talked about earlier with Sean Young saying next year my car will be here painted. You're saying this year my Airstream will be here done.
I told you there would be a floor and we could sleep on the floor. I didn't say it was going to be built down.
Didn't
It will have it'll have lights and a generator and a floor we can put an air mattress in.
Didn't say
God.
there'd be a roof over your head and
Oh,
just a floor.
Airstreams have roofs there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're restoring it,
That's not how that works.
Well, I got a generator I can probably donate and an air conditioning unit if you want to do that.
It's done. Let's do it.
yeah.
All right, so going back to Tiffany.
He always wants to go back to me.
Yeah.
You're the.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing.
I
This is
know.
why we're here. This is why we're here.
So let's state the obvious. First tattoo.
Oh, jeez. Do I have?
Yeah.
Is it covered
my
up?
star?
Right there.
That
My
little
star.
star.
Hey,
How old?
15.
15.
Yeah. That was some my prime manipulation on my part for that one. I had
Faked an ID.
No, my mom will tell you that I've wanted tattoos since I was old enough to recognize what they were, and it was
too.
hey, you either take me to a shop and sign for it, or I will find some random dude in a basement.
Yes.
And
That's
So
not
was that a
safe.
random?
it.
I was gonna say, was that a random dude in the basement?
no, it was a
Yeah.
shop. It was the first shop I ever, and then I got
She bowed down.
those, and yeah, because she loves art, she didn't want me to have bad art.
Right.
She wanted me to have
Well, I
good
can appreciate
art.
that.
So
Yeah.
so she was okay with tattoos?
Oh yeah, my mom loves my tattoos.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
She always jokes that she's gonna get her boobies tattooed, Mopsy and Flopsy. I know she'll never actually do it, but
I
she
don't
always
know.
says she
She's
will.
gonna watch this, right?
Ooh, called out, mom.
See you at Bonneville, Mom.
I was
Yep.
going to ask Mike if his first tattoo were those crossed penises on his chest.
No, that wasn't my first tattoo. My first tattoo was a mushroom with a face on it
Yes.
on my leg, and I
Which-
got it in the back of a single wide trailer by a guy that had just.
Got out
I
of
want to
prison.
say he was a couple of months out of prison.
Nice.
He's actually who showed me how to make my first machine.
Please tell me you still have this tattoo.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I would
So
never
just to
covered that
recap
tattoo
and
up.
bring it all in, you have some dude's mushroom tip on your leg?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I figured Sean Young would be
Yeah,
proud of that.
and it's
Yeah.
smiling.
Good for you, Matt.
I don't believe in
Mike-
covering tattoos. I think
you
that's
did 'em-
just
you did
part
'em,
of
you
your
got 'em,
history.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have one tattoo that is covered, and it was one that I got when I was like 17, and it was when everybody was getting kanji. And I got a kanji symbol tattooed on my neck that meant dangerous. And every time I went to a Chinese restaurant, the Chinese ladies would be like, "Oh, you danger!" And I'm like, "I got to get this covered."
Give him the 2-day-old chicken.
He's very
That's
dangerous.
amazing.
Sound like the Lion King. I live on the wild side.
right. It was.
Ooh, you think they were all making fun of you in the back? Like,
Oh, I
table,
know they were.
Table 3, very dangerous.
Yes, I know they were. If they weren't, I'm disappointed in them as people because I would have made fun of a guy like me.
What did you get over it? Is that the Ben Franklin?
the brass knuckles actually
Okay.
cover a kanji symbol, that
which
means-
which is dangerous in any language.
There you go. That says a lot about you.
So
Yeah.
the first tattoo was it a legit tattoo with a tattoo?
No, dude, it was made out of an
I mean,
ink
or was it
pen.
like, yeah, ink pen?
The stem of a spoon that was bent.
Yep.
The motor was out of a cassette player.
Yes.
Wow.
The needle bar was a guitar string.
Okay, so it was.
Oh yeah, it was an
actually-
electric,
yeah.
but it was
Jailhouse.
basically
I
a
don't know any
prison
words.
tattoo machine. Yeah,
I
it was a
obviously
prison
know
tattoo.
nothing about tattoos.
That's a
wanna get one?
legit tattoo gun, which I hate when people use that
Yeah,
term,
yeah.
but that's a legit
Yeah,
tattoo gun.
yeah, and then
I made a couple when
yeah,
I was younger.
Yeah, and then he kind of showed me that, and next thing you know, I was tattooing any and everybody with India ink.
Yes.
And at one point in time, when I was probably 15 or 16 years old, there was my tattoo studio that was in my room because, of course, I didn't have any parental guidance whatsoever, and there was just like. It was the most grotesque. Like God only knows how many staph infections I got
Statute
when
of
I was a
limitations.
teenager.
Statute of limitations.
So your autoclave, was it a Kohler? Or
A what?
it was surgical, right? It
I'm
was,
sorry. We speaking English still?
Yeah.
It was more like a bottle of alcohol?
No, it was a damn
no.
Bic lighter.
No. So here's the thing. No, it wasn't a big lighter. So I will give this guy credit, and I'm trying to remember that guy's name. I can't remember it, but I will give that guy credit. So he taught me how to sterilize things with a pressure cooker on a stove.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
like baby bottles, baby.
Yeah.
That's so brilliant. Like
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So-
when you're poor, you figure out how to do stuff
Hey.
with what you got.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was tattooing like 35-year-old dudes at like 15 years old with a jail cell tattoo gun in my house.
That's sketchy. So sketchy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And
But
awesome.
I'm thinking back on that. I cannot imagine me at 30 years old like, what, this 14-year-old kid tattoos? Absolutely. Sign me up.
Yeah.
yeah, at that point, those people deserve what they got.
And
Like,
can you imagine?
know,
Yeah, can you imagine now, like the Ring camera footage? If we could have got that, like the dude showing up to your house,
If that
be like,
existed.
Bing! Yeah, I'm here to see little Mike about the tattoo. I'm waiting on the Amazon guy. Can you get the F off my porch?
Well, I mean,
Go around back. There's a shed.
Most of them were tweakers, so they didn't make good decisions anyways.
Yeah.
knock on the basement window.
That's extra challenge for a 14-year-old young tattoo artist. He's fidgety the whole time.
Well, I was around a lot of tweakers, man. That's
He
the
wasn't
house
tweaking.
I grew up.
Yeah, you weren't tweaking. They were.
And so, side note, not to just dive into me, but I still have like
That was weird.
That was me.
Oh,
That was
okay.
totally me.
I was like,
You're not weird. That thing was weird.
I was like,
was like-
how did scratching my chin make that noise? What the?
Well, that chin's really big.
Yeah, that's a harsh chin.
I tried
I'll
to
give
be
you that.
so inconspicuous that did
Right.
not work.
Right. But yeah. So I grew up around tweakers, and that was like my whole upbringing. So I still have today, and I have never used hard drugs ever. I have tweaker tendencies just because
Which, by the way, is like beyond me.
Yeah, that's amazing. But like
Like, I
I'll
always
find
thought,
myself like looking out the blinds and stuff like, and I'm like, this is what I was programmed to do. Like I'm so used to being around tweakers, I think I got to look out the blinds the whole time. Like,
Take my phone apart.
No, I like Mike and I had parallel upbringings. Like I don't know what the deal was it was a few months ago. We had a cash deal or something.
yeah,
I was embarrassed to talk about it.
do
He
it.
said Mike. I said, all right, now we're gonna do this, and it was like a $600 deal, and I got a pill bottle. It's $600.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
That's
like
old school.
so
That's
like,
old school.
He goes to the truck and pulls a pill bottle out. I'm like, Javier, you were showing where you were raised. Like I know what that is right there.
I was like, don't you worry about it, bro. And I knew because I know the way I had it set up for those types of transactions for just parts and cars and stuff. I know what pill bottle has what amount of money in it, and I was like, I'm
Looks
not.
like I'm gonna have to break out the oxy for this one.
Oh, these are the Cipros. $1,000 for antibiotics, bro. Yeah, it's interesting that you caught that. I was like embarrassed almost, but then I was like, wait, no,
It's Mike.
you can't get embarrassed
Mike
because you
knows.
knew exactly what that was.
Right. So back to your upbringing. You haven't mentioned your father. Is that a sore subject?
Yeah, we don't go there.
We
Yeah?
don't either.
No,
We do.
He
though.
We do.
Yeah, you could join that club.
he dislikes everything about me.
Really?
He refuses to acknowledge that I'm an artist or that I'm successful in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Won't even acknowledge that I have tattoos. Like that's
Really?
that's a relationship that has been officially dead for about 6 months now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Wow,
sorry.
6 months.
It's his loss,
no,
man. I'm
it's,
telling you right
it's
now.
fine.
Yeah.
He, luckily, I have a bunch of other family members that are more supportive than I could ever hope for. So,
Right.
like even his parents, I didn't have a relationship with them for 10, 15 years, and
Right.
and now we've reconnected,
do?
and it's amazing.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they could care less about the way I look,
Right.
yeah.
and
Right.
and they're so proud of me and my art and stuff. So.
That's
So
awesome.
where's
Yeah.
your dad? Is he?
I don't
Salt
know.
Lake?
No, I think he lives in southern
Leon?
Utah somewhere. Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, St. George, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've hung out in southern Utah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It
in
wasn't a
southern
big
Utah.
loss. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So I used to work for FedEx when I was 18, which is all kids that grew up in Memphis.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And back then, before 9/11, unfortunately, things changed. But I'm old enough to where I worked just enough time before 9/11 when you could ride in the cockpit.
Jump
Oh
seat.
right, yeah.
Jump seat.
Jump seat. Yeah.
And I jump seated into Salt Lake.
That's
That is
awesome.
the scariest shit I've ever done. And I've done a lot of stupid stuff. And let me tell you why. Because
Salt
there's
Lake is sketchy.
depending on the year,
Yes.
time of year,
Yes.
the way you drop into the valley, there's a horrific wind shear. So
Inversion.
I'm trying to understand like what crabbing actually is in an aircraft. I'm not a pilot. So when you come in from the east and you bank in real hard, depending on which runway you're in, on the main one, and you dip down to the plane. This is a cargo plane now
Yep.
with 4 souls on board, and it's
Under
I
the
know
inversion.
that because that's what the crash report says. So there's an inbound cargo plane with 4 souls on board and 33,000 gallons of fuel. There's not much to pick up after that,
Yeah.
but it comes down. So you're looking at the number on the runway, and then it bucks up, and then it turns sideways. So you're looking out of the co-pilot's window at the runway, and at the last second they turn it.
Epic.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
I landed in Asheville, North Carolina, one time in a twin prop. Like
Yeah.
the props were down, like they dropped underneath the wings.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of plane that was, but it only sat like 16 people.
Right.
And we came over the mountains into Asheville, and it was just like that. You were looking like I was on the right hand side, and I'm looking at the I'm looking right at the runway. I'm like,
We're supposed to be landing
there.
there.
Like, we're just coming in there sideways, and at the last second they go, "Boop," and just landed it.
Yeah.
It was like, man, yeah.
So that brings me to
Scary.
my next point. We need to set a date and group skydiving.
He wants to jump out of an
Nope.
airplane.
No.
Nope.
Come on,
nope.
dude.
Nope, not happening.
John?
Not
No.
this guy. Nope.
What? Nobody?
I do not do open heights.
I'll do
That's
it.
really testing your luck, I feel like.
Yeah,
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
reason to push the,
don't know,
you know,
man.
to
Yeah.
like,
I'm
to
not
like,
a lucky guy anyway.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
You don't want to
I'm
punch the bear.
probably up there on most unlucky people you've ever met, and I've successfully skydived multiple times.
Well, that's fine, but at some point it's gonna tap you. That's all I'm saying.
Can
Like
I
that-
have your watch when you were dead?
my pocket watches? No, you can't have my pocket
Yeah.
watches. One of those was my
Now, you know, like, you know, go hiking and stuff. My wife and I go hiking a lot. Wow, she breathes really heavy. No,
the Marlboro Reds.
She's like hiking.
yeah, hiking.
I love
hiking.
Yeah, we go hiking and stuff, and like,
North Face, bro.
yeah, and
Oh, my
go Angel's Landing or like a something that has a just straight drop off.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
difficulty.
Freaks
with
you
that.
out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, when
I can
was
I
a
can be up
teenager,
I
we
can be
used
up
to,
I can be up in like Sears Tower or something.
yeah,
You
we
know what
used to
I-
climb buildings as a pastime
No.
when I was a teenager.
For funsies.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm out.
I did that.
I'm out.
Parkour.
Yeah. And
This was before parkour.
Yeah, it was parkour
No, it was-
before it was parkour.
It was
yeah.
before parkour.
Yeah.
that's
I have no idea what you're talking about.
okay.
You don't know what parkour is?
I don't. What is
So-
No. We're not redirecting
I'm like-
anything. We're going to go down
like-
whatever hole this takes us.
This is gonna be like a
thought we were
4-hour
talking about
podcast of like
This is gonna be the
our
longest.
idiocy.
you know-
I don't care.
I love
Tangent.
it.
I
I
believe
love
you're
it.
calling it a tangent. We're having fun, man.
Yes, we are.
We're
It's about 15% about pinstriping,
Right.
which
Okay.
is awesome. I feel like that's
the
a good.
percentage is
Okay.
dropping more and more as we go.
The longer we go, the percentage shrinks. And
Yeah.
evening with Tiffany and some paint will be the.
I painted for like 5 seconds, and then I'm like,
Yeah, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
yeah, that's how I am at my studio
That's
too.
okay.
I'm like, well, I'm not feeling
That's
it.
okay.
I'm good.
All right,
You have to be inspired.
but I want to go back though to questions about pinstriping.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the ultimate goal?
Oh man. Ultimate goal is I want to have a building that's slash storefront slash garage where I can store all my cars and have people be able to bring their bikes and stuff for when I pinstripe them, because I don't have anywhere right now.
Right.
And I would like to incorporate other people's art into my life as well. There's so many artists that I love, even Midtown and Memphis artists, that I feel like aren't showcased enough unless you fit into this certain niche.
Right.
And me being so outside of that niche, I want to help bring more of my culture and
Sure.
my art into the surrounding areas. But yeah, and then I just want to do car shows and bike shows year round. Like,
Yeah.
I want to fix up my Falcon. I want to get a trailer to tow behind it, convert it into like a mobile studio, and then
Right.
just do car and bike shows year round.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a
Put
good.
my dogs in my Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see the world.
Yeah,
The Falcon.
Yeah.
It's the orange Falcon.
that's the orange one.
Yeah.
What's the name?
She doesn't have one.
Oh,
Wow.
I got to drive her
I
for
don't name mine either.
2 weeks.
no. She has a history of naming cars, is why I asked.
I do.
Oh,
I
my
do.
bad.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't drive. You gotta drive it.
You gotta know it first,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta know her.
Oh, I know what that means.
And
yeah.
so 2 weeks I drove this car before the transmission was leaking fluid onto the manifold and fire.
Oof.
Fire.
Yeah.
So that is why I do not trust junkyard motors.
That's a good idea.
I do not
Yeah.
trust rebuilt motors.
Right.
I will only put crate motors in
Yeah.
any of my cars
I can dig it.
because, yeah,
Bad experience.
Bad.
Yeah.
bad.
that-
And
is-
always have a fire extinguisher in old cars.
Amen.
Yeah.
Always.
So my truck broke today. Speaking of
Oh.
that, so yeah, I had to get the wife to come get me from work.
How long had it been on the road since the revamp?
I don't know, month and a half.
Damn.
Right.
I don't know. Was it that
Nah,
long?
you had a good
I
run.
give it 3 weeks.
No, I mean it's a starter. and I know
Yeah.
it's the starter. I could physically shake.
Yeah, that's
part of
easily
it.
fixed.
Yeah. But it's in the parking lot of work, so I'm up there with jack stands and
Oh
doing
no,
it. It's old school, man.
You're doing what we do.
I'm doing the Javier is what I'm doing.
I think that's technically the young too.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know. Yeah, I don't know that.
So my kid, when he was like 15, his starter went out in his little Mustang. And, of course, I'm his personal mechanic.
Right.
And I'm up in the parking lot of the high school changing his starter for him. And then he calls all of his buddies so they can watch me work. It was like, you son
That's
of a-
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's
I would
great.
have put him to
I was
work.
going to say,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when you say, son, here you go. You're fixing to learn something.
Well, I wanted to go.
Right.
So let's
yeah,
just get it.
let's get it done and over with.
Yeah.
See, I am never
So
in
Sean
so
took
much
the
of a hurry.
ridiculing.
I am never in so much of a
15-year-olds.
hurry to not teach my kids lessons.
Oh, I am.
like yesterday, right, mowing the grass, right? And I told them, like the day before, I'm like, you're mowing the grass, right, mow it properly. I don't need it done quick, I need it done right.
Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate of that. Like, I hate it when people just rush through and
Half-assed.
gloss over
Well,
the
it's a
thing.
disrespect.
Yeah, I
to
hate-
themselves,
I hate that.
really.
Right. So they did that with the backyard the day before, and
Yeah.
I sent them out there with scissors.
Yes.
And they sat out there for hours with scissors, making sure the grass was the same length that they decided not to cut.
Wow.
Well, then yesterday, I'm like, look, now it's your responsibility to cut this grass, larger area. You remember what happened the day before. I don't need it cut fast. I need it cut right. I come home, it's not cut right. And they were back out there with scissors.
See, that's amazing.
Like-
Kids these days have no work ethic. Kids
not
these
in my
days,
house.
but
Yeah, no doubt.
These whippersnappers.
whippersnappers. But that's important. You don't see it very often. There's never there doesn't seem to be as many consequences for
yeah.
actions.
It's also pride and
nowadays.
ownership.
Absolutely.
I don't
They're-
know, man. My kids, Perry and Chandler and Riley, they're driven.
Yeah.
I don't know where it.
Yes, they are.
It's odd.
Where
It
they
must
from?
be
Where they
their
from?
mother.
Yeah, where they
exactly.
from?
It's got to be their mother.
Well, I mean, the homework thing, and I've tried to have conversations while they're doing their homework, and it's like, Dad, my education is very important to me. It's like
They lecture you.
Oh yeah, it's like,
Epic.
okay, have at it.
Yeah, epic. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I know what's up. Okay, so going back to your stuff, as usual.
Tiffany, what do you got coming up?
That's a really big bug.
Sure is.
I have a Motoblot in Chicago the end of this year or end of this month.
Motoblot.
Motoblot.
Is that
Big-
motorcycle?
Big old motorcycle show.
Cool.
Doing the Nashville Tattoo Convention in September, which will be a lot of fun. I do the booking for Sarah Workman here in Memphis, and so she's going to be set up, and I will be.
Sarah Workman.
Yeah, she worked at Underground for a long time.
Okay.
And she's been in her own private studio,
Oh, okay.
and
right on.
she's just blown up.
So September 5th weekend, you're doing the Legend Show too.
Yes, September 5th weekend, I will be doing the Legends show.
That's committed. It's on camera.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Locked
the
in.
hard part is I haven't locked in the location yet.
Well, you'll be doing it, but we don't know where you'll be doing
We
it.
don't know
at.
where it'll be.
Yeah, I am working on a location.
Diligently, respectfully, happily.
Wow.
It was at the Edge District last year, right?
It was at the Edge District last year, and I like the Edge District, but I want it to grow.
Right.
Space. It's a space. You're hitting the walls already.
What about the drive-in?
I thought about the drive-in. I
Okay.
really did. I've tried to get in touch with those people. I haven't.
have to.
That's Malco.
I haven't.
It's Malcolm,
I haven't
man.
broken through that wall, whatever it is.
I ain't kids there.
But we're leaning actually toward Broad Avenue.
Okay.
But there's some speed bumps with business owners and blah blah blah. So I'm
Right.
trying to get through that right now. My ultimate goal is to have it on Mud Island.
That would be amazing.
That's my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to push for that this year, and I had a couple of ends, but it's just not happening fast enough. So
Well,
maybe next year.
We're trying to. You guys are trying to grow it too.
Right.
I mean, landing the venue is great, but filling the venue and making it worth something.
Well,
in the
here's
space
the
that
thing:
you're in.
is I'll tell you the same thing I told you last year. If nobody shows up but the people we personally invited, I am completely 100% it will be a success in my mind. I do not care how many people show up. I don't. Like, the people that we invite show up and we all hang out in a parking lot, chop up some cars and do some cool stuff. Like, I'm good.
Well, you better not buy any T-shirts.
Well, we gave away a bunch of T-shirts
We
last
did.
year.
We did.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I
I'm
overbought
pretty sure I got
T-shirts.
a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still made money though. So
Yeah,
it was all right.
yeah. I mean, we were in the clear. We were in the clear.
Can you do post-order T-shirts where people
There you
put
go.
their order in?
That's
That's
it.
how you really make money.
Well, we could do pre-order.
Well, and a
No, no,
big
no.
thing that we're lacking right now is somebody that's in corporate world is supposed to be putting together a sponsorship package. I'm not going to call any names, but somebody in corporate world is supposed to be putting together a sponsorship package, and we haven't gotten those yet. But we're working on it. We're working.
John Barrington, what's up? Sorry, it was in my throat.
Yeah, yeah. We're working.
Sound
on
like
it,
John
so.
Cena.
And it's definitely doing this has given me a whole new respect for people that do shows.
Oh, organizing events is stupid.
Oh, it's crazy. It's,
And that's why they charge so much for vendor booths and space, and
It
people
is
don't
crazy.
understand how much goes into all of it.
It is unreal.
Yeah.
We talked to some people what are the, Phil, what's the name of the event?
Painter, Phil
that
Painter.
Phil Painter put on?
Muscle cars at the strip.
Muscle Cars at the Strip. We had them on because they were coming through and they knew Sean. And we talked to them a little bit about organizing that show, and their show is giant.
Really.
And it was like, yeah, I don't even want a show that big because I can't imagine having to organize. It was hard enough for us to organize our little bitty show
Yeah.
just with what we had.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Bass Pro Shop would rent out part of their parking lot.
funny.
It's
You
funny
bring
you
that
bring
up.
that up.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you, the
there's-
only problem with Bass Pro is that they probably have a bad taste in their mouth right now from the Saturday night stuff where people were doing donuts and
Yeah.
all that crazy business out there.
I think it'd be an opportunity to repair that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I agree with that. I'm just saying,
So
you're,
what we're
you're
gonna
talking
have to
to
do-
a corporation
Yeah.
that allowed it, and then
Right.
everything got out of hand, and they were like, no.
So what we need to do is we need to set a meeting with the people that are in charge of the Bass Pro over there, and then every one of us show up in camouflage.
That would
Yes.
be amazing.
With Labradors and
Duck calls and such.
yeah.
Like a
Maybe
parade of duck
maybe
calls.
a pet rack. Maybe a
rack or a poss.
maybe a poss on my shoulder.
A boss.
Pass.
I could possibly do it. That's a dad jokes free. You can have that. Take it
Yeah.
home with you. Wear it,
yourself.
wear it like a warm blanket. We've got dad problems. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. I'm not.
That's why I try so hard.
Well, guys, let's wrap,
wrap it up.
And I don't have anything happening other than putting a new starter in.
You're not gonna. That's what she said on that. Let's wrap it up.
That's what she
There.
said.
But seriously, y'all be safe out there when you're
So,
recording.
Where can they find your work?
Yeah.
Oh, Instagram, Tiffany Trouble Pinstriping, or my website. I don't have a lot of content up there.
Yeah.
But all my things that are available for raffle are on my website, www.tiffanytroublepinstriping.com. Almost forgot my own website.
Is it Tiffany Trouble, all one word?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tiffany Trouble Pinstriping, all one word.
And
Very
if,
cool.
if our guy that's editing it does properly, he'll throw that up on the screen when you
Might
say
be able to
it.
make that work.
Yeah.
We know the guy. We know the guy that does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, all 10 people will see it. That's what
All
Matt
10
said.
people will see it.
We have 100.
Hey, the 8% in Australia
Yeah,
are going to see
8%.
it.
I like
Yeah.
He
Nice.
knows our stats. Yeah.
We had one guy from Switzerland check
Yeah,
in.
the Swedes.
Oh, he,
was-
doesn't like us anymore after
No,
this
he was
conversation.
actually the only reason he followed was looking for Sean.
It was
He was
actually.
the bill collector.
He skip traced the shit out of you.
Yeah, he was actually.
I noticed that you're into doing a podcast. So there's revenue there. Perhaps you could peel off some dollars.
On that note, Javi.
Javi
So on that note, Javier, in your best Swedish voice, take us out.
It could be sweet.
Yes, I want it to be sweet.
This has been Hot Rod Blood Podcast, okay? Thank you for tuning in. This has been Tiffany the Pinstriper.
Yas.
Come back next week for part 2.
Bye.